on Boom 106.9.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
For 40 years, we've refined the rhythm of beer, mastering the balance of bold and smooth, crafting flavors that echo through SVG. Between the limes and the laughter, we've carried our expertise across the Caribbean, one brew at a time, perfecting the process, deepening the craft, learning what makes beer not just tasted, but felt. And now, with all that we've learned, we bring you what's next. The next wave of refreshment, the next chapter in our story, the next taste to define a generation, not just another drink. This is the extension of who we are, the next experience, the next icon, imagined and brewed right here at home. It's not just what's next for us, it's what's next for you. It's what's beyond expectations. Own it, define it, make your mark. Hyrule next. This is the extension of passion, of possibility. Hyrule next. The future of beer. Made in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the hands that have mastered the craft for 40 years.
This isn't just a run. With each step begins a new journey. A journey of determination, persistence, and self-discovery. With each step, I am back on a quest to push myself beyond expectations, beyond standards. Each stretch, a reminder of the flexibility of the human spirit. With each step, I am breaking barriers. As I push to the finish, I'm filled with pride. Not just for what I've achieved today, but for the journey that has brought me here. This isn't just a run. It's a testament to the human spirit, and I am here for it. Island Sips, beyond standards, beyond expectations, beyond water.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lighting up SVG on Boom 106.9.
Back to the future. Boom 106.9 gives you 15 minutes of the biggest
Every time me give me woman gun, she find out. But she stand up by me side, she never sign out. Tell you one thing where you eat me mind out. Here another man I get the wine, but I understand, girl. It's just now to agree. All the while I was cheating on you, you were cheating on me, but I understand, girl. I just a lifetime. Every man have another girl and every woman have another man. If your woman give you bun, would you understand? When a she you make the vote with the wedding band? Would you run her out? Would you make she can? Would you still live your life hand in hand? Imagine, don't have yourself as a top. You and your friends them step up in a club. Look in a corner, see your woman and a man a rub. Me no bother job with this love cause I understand, girl. It's just now to agree. All the while I was cheating on you, you were cheating on me. I understand, girl. I just a lifetime. Every man have another girl and every woman have another man.
Go if you want, girl, I won't stop you. You know I love you, but do what you have to. If ever you should go away, don't take my heart and leave me here hopelessly. I may not become insane. It takes a lot to be strong after all this pain. Oh, I am not the same. Girl, I don't know if I will fall in love again. The memories that remain, they keep haunting me again and again.
Got me wrapped up in your arms, just like a baby into the cradle. And things were so fine.
Back to the future.
To put bread on the table. And you said you'd be mine. I stay blind. But 15 minutes ago, you turn and walk away. 15 minutes ago, girl, your cheating game you play. 15 minutes ago, all I can say. Forever and always in my heart. Here's what could be sweeter. You think the same for me. Say you'll ever be always there for me. Announcing now to the world that you and you alone are my pride and joy, my heart and soul, my rhyme and song, my right, my wrong. And once again, on one of my crazy days, hey, I see your face and all that stress is history. Oh, I'm forever indebted to your love. Oh, I wanna thank you, lady, yeah, putting up with a man like me.
The whole town's talking about her, this sweet little girl from Gentile. She's got a property that I truly admire. She smiles when I call her Miss Scotty. She hears it everywhere that she goes. Where in the world did she get it? Don't ask me, I don't know.
Let me tell you how I feel. You know my love is real. From the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. What is this that I feel? Taking control of me. My body's in trouble. me come alive. I wanna know what it is about you. Cause every little thing that I've been searching for, girl, I see it in you. You're my dream come true. Every single day, in every little way, every single night I pray that you'll be there for me. Cause I'll be there for you. I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day.
So go on your knees and pray. One thing I can do, one thing I can say, Almighty God, I lead the way. He's my guide and protector, night and day. That I will never fade away. One thing I can do, one thing I can say, Almighty God, I lead the way. He's my guide and protector, night and day. Now for them can't sleep at night, them all a worry and fear. I choose to last year, I'm a try for disrespect. Them done get the warning, this is the check. No, it's at my back and all a whole city wreck. Hypocritical backers, watch all you step. Before you disrust a man, you better think and check. Oh, you fit this the high priest. Well, check the last year, I run the north, south, east and the west. The rodding I'm right and the septine I'm left. Oh, you fit this the man now when the man can connect. The man give us life and make we can blow them. So when you see the prophet certain talk enough for them. Don't sleep at night, them all a worry and fear. I do say I say I'm a try for disrespect. Don't get the warning, this is the check. Night time, man, and all a worship. Them never want see we strive. So them set all bad road in our life. Oh yeah, them never want see we strive. So them set all bad roads in our life. Oh, but I know what's burning you. Bad mind I kill you. I know what's burning you. No love in your heart, no love in your soul too. Them never want see we strive. So them set all bad road in our life. Oh, Jah, them never want see we strive. So them set all bad road in our life. Yo, the words of corruption is the words of death. The words of death, the words of life is the words of righteousness. Wanna look at now, yo, hey! See no evil, do no evil, see no evil. And so I'm going in a big, big trouble. See no evil, do no evil, see no evil. 1, 2, hey, sick and today. There's no gain in the absence of your culture. Be strong. Two people remind my youth, never forget where you come from. The system makes the system break the heart of those not knowing where they belong. The feelings ache, the whole vibes are you know the depression, juvenile. With your black inheritance, be satisfied. High, therefore be wise. Yo, beauty is like possession, see you smile. High, juvenile. Yo, with the nickel that you can be satisfied. High, therefore be wise. Yo, it's a bad love. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing. People say new chant for the dancehall rhythm. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing.
Back to the future. Boom 1069 gives you 15 minutes of the biggest throwbacks.
Love, sweet love,
to the Future. Boom 1069 gives you 15 minutes of the biggest throwbacks.
Wake up with the real Badman Bing and DJ Shady.
I see party people.
Take your party like we. 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 So come let we touch on the road, mama. Touch on the road. Jump on the road, mama. Jump on the road. Jump on the road, mama. Jump on the road. Cause take your party like. Take your party.
They certainly don't.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
A blessing.
It's a blessing, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's carnival. No more stress.
We don't wanna stress.
No.
We just wanna be free.
People from everywhere, glad to be here. They're ready for the mass and fun. Nothing compared.
Winston Matthews, good morning to you.
Now we jamming at the tune.
Highly flavored child, good morning to you.
I'm of life.
Neil Knights, morning.
Waste pandemonium.
Bigger Bigs, morning, my buddy, morning, morning.
We doing the dirty dance.
We sick and now we crazy.
Andy Freitas, one of my several wives.
Every waste pandemonium.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
I'm of life.
We doing the dirty
We
dance.
sick and now we crazy.
Rosemary Kirby, morning. Tanya, oh large boy, oh large. Morning, darling, morning, morning. This is my second wife.
We sick and now we crazy.
Tanya, Tanya, share the live.
Every waste pandemonium.
No, Tanya, I put him on arrest. I put him on arrest.
We sick and now we crazy.
George Valentine, morning to you. It's nice seeing you and your wife day before yesterday. It was a pleasure seeing the both of you.
We going real hard and it play shell down.
Everybody get a bad, 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 bad.
Things from everywhere, got to be here. Get ready for the mass and fun. Nothing compared, so give life a chance. Now we jamming at the July sun. Having a time of life.
Yes, we having a time.
Every waste pandemonium.
Well, we're inside Wednesday morning and, well, we say share the live, share the damn live, because it's Wednesday morning and we don't care. We don't give two damns. Who's in production? Kyle? Kyle, look at, is it Kyle? Javel in production. Look at the scroll, change the color. It's in gray. So put it in white for me, please. Javel, put the scroll in white, information in the scroll in white for me instead of gray. It's not showing up properly, please. Yeah. Sonia Chagas, good morning, share the live. We got things this morning. You know, this morning is gonna be one of those kind of mornings where you can get some good things, you can get some bad things, you can get some real damn bad side of Bing, the bad man, this morning. You're gonna see a side of me that is good and bad. Come. Let me show you. No, it's not. Come and see. Hold on, guys. Yeah, that's, you see, good production people. Yeah. Came around immediately and he told me, Bing, you seem crazy. Yeah.
You probably need to wear the white shade.
Yeah. I probably need the red. You see, she want me to put on my red glasses. That's why. She didn't say I need to wear my red glasses. And I go fix it. See, is it shady? Is how you stop? It's just shady damn light over there for me, please. Just shady light. So, good morning to the people of the Southern Grenadines. Good morning to you. Shady, that's your cue. Good morning to you. But before I do that, let me tell you what's happening at Chill Spot. Yeah, I don't have the menu for Chill Spot as yet. Kish morning, buddy. Morning. Sabongale Direct. Good morning to you, darling. It's an interesting name. It's a very interesting name. Sabongale. Good morning to you, baby. Yeah. I want to tell you about Chill Spot. Well, generally, because I don't have what's on special today as yet. Not just as yet. Rolling morning, darling. Linden Buffett Vibes Cartel Mech. No, let me see that. Linden Buffett Vibes Cartel Money. Mech Duck James. Good morning to you. And I was told that I should change it and say Linden Buffett Vibes Cartel Money. Mech Duck Curry Duck James. Good morning to you. I'm just saying what I was told to say. I was just saying what your people and them who tell me to say it, eh? Make curry duck, James. You're ending big batsman like you. And God and the people them imagination cricket and make duck. So you as captain, you should be ashamed of yourself. But the Vibes Cartel money you're still spending, so you don't give two damns. I agree with you. It's Wednesday. Don't give two damns today. Listen, at Chill Spot, let me tell you generally, and I had something from Chill Spot yesterday. My gosh. I speak about curry. I had some curry goat yesterday, which I shouldn't. Like, I had some curry goat yesterday at Chill Spot. Wow. I'm not telling you any lie. It was so amazing. I'm like, okay, because I said, okay, well, small portion, please. Small portion. But when I got home and the small portion tastes so good, I'm like, I started kicking myself. I said, why did I say small portion? Stupid big. Yeah. So I had some curry mutton yesterday at Chill Spot. Yeah. So whether you want lunch like I did yesterday with curry mutton, and they've got the buffet laid out there, right? So you got several different meats to choose from, and your sides and all of that. Yeah, at Chill Spot. Now the breakfast menu as well too. Let me finish tell you about the lunch. Stupid bing. I should have started telling you about the breakfast first. But let me start tell you about the breakfast. Yeah. They've got breakfast. They've got the traditional breakfast. You know, egg, bacon, sausages, and all of that. You know, that's a traditional. You can get an English breakfast there as well too. And English, you can get an American breakfast there as well too. You can get a Vinci breakfast there as well too. At Chill Spot. You know what's a Vinci breakfast? You know, sawfish and bakes. Yeah. Also the corned beef. Now when I went there yesterday, of course the breakfast would have been finished. So when I went there yesterday and I was tempted to ask about the corned beef thing, because I ain't corned beef and I know I shouldn't be eating that, right? But I was good. I didn't. When I went there yesterday and I saw the bake, because when I heard corned beef and baked, when I reading that here on mornings, I'm saying corned beef and baked. Like I never had. You've had corned beef and baked, Shady? Yeah. Fry bakes? Yeah. Okay. Well, I've never had corned beef and fry bakes. And interestingly, what I saw at Chill Spot yesterday was coconut baked. Baked coconut bakes. So I think that is what it is. Yeah. So you can get. I think that you can get baked coconut bakes. So corned beef and coconut bake. Yeah. And they pack a lot of corned beef in it. Yeah. The coconut bakes. Yeah. You can also enjoy your coffee, freshly brewed coffee as well too, which I'm staying off of a little bit. So I'm gonna be having more water now. My water bottle here. Give thanks. More Shady Life, Tanya darling, Shady Life. And I know who ain't Shady Life. And I will console you. Yeah. You can get your richly brewed coffee fresh. the aromatic flavor. You smell it before you get inside of the freshly brewed coffee at Chill Spot. Yeah? And of course, my favorite, you can get teas, all kind of teas. And at Chill Spot, you know, Lance is a bushman. And you know, with we bush country people, when we talk about teas, we of course you can get your tea bags and all of that. You can get your Lipton and all that. But of course, you got a tea for that. So he's got a tea for that menu. Like, give me them a tea for that. What? Give me them.
Seed and the leaf.
Seed and the leaf. What else?
Part of my life.
Part of my life. It's part of my life.
I didn't stand.
Yeah. Mint, fresh mint tea as well too. What's the other? The back there. The cinnamon. So seed and the leaf. Seed and the leaf. Seed and the leaf. Is it? Yeah. And if you have some serious problem with your woman at home or your man at home getting some serious bush, and you see a boy, nah boy, can't take it. Don't go do no shoppiness. Fellas, take your hand off your woman, them is not your child. Do not pray you go in and beat up the woman and all that. Go to Chill Spot and tell them you want some Karela Bush tea. Alright? Get some Karela Bush tea. You ever had Karela Bush? Yeah, boy. When you fall along, you used to get that? They used to get some Karela to drink? Yeah. So go by Chill Spot and get some Karela Bush tea. Yeah. So all that and so much more at Chill Spot. Yeah. They open all now for breakfast. Of course, I say part of the vintage traditional breakfast, you get all of that. And at lunch, you can get codfish and blackfish and seafood. They've got a nice seafood delicacy. Really, really nice. Yeah, seafood menu they've got there as well. And they're known for their Sunday buffets at $60. Get all. Yeah, $60 buffet. Yeah, so check out Chill Spot. Yeah, they open from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. If you don't know Chill Spot, you need some Karela Bush tea. They've got some Karela Bush tea for that. If you don't know Chill Spot, yeah, all that and more. Just call ahead and tell them if you want. You can call ahead and speak to them. Yeah, and just tell them what you want. So like I did yesterday. I called ahead and I said, what do you have on the menu? And they told me, okay, we got that. I said, okay, let me try the curry goat. You didn't get it. And we had lunch yesterday. We had lunch yesterday in the station. The staff had lunch yesterday in the station. You didn't get. I had chop it. Yeah. You need, there's a tea for that. Oh, you chop it people, there's a tea for that. So there's a tea for you, go, I'll pay for it. Go to Chill Spot today and get and you can get tea at any time of the day. Breakfast is not just for morning, Breakfast is for any time of the day, especially tea. Alright, so there's some good things and there's some bad things. Good morning to those of you in the Southern Grenadines. Good morning to you, Union Island. Good morning to you, Myro, and good morning to you, Canawan, especially Canawan. You did that thing that I tell you to do already? Or it's not as yet? It's not as yet. I'm trying to do it. All right, Lord of Moses, boy, Jesus, Lord of boy. There's a tea for that. Just whatever tea for that. Yeah. Just whatever tea for that. I can't deal with shady. There's a tea dealing with shady. I want it now. So in Canawan, they've got something. There's a summer camp going on in Canawan. Yeah, called Canawan Echo Quest Summer Camp for Young Explorers. Now, this is the kind of thing. I've got a daughter, right? And you see this? She would go crazy for this. And incidentally, I'm going to speak something about her this morning that I'm so mad about, all right? Something to do with her, all right? So, Canawan, they're going to start. They started on the 5th of August. No, not on the 5th of August. From the 11th to the 15th of August. Yeah? Canawan Echo Quest Summer Camp for Young Explorers. First ever summer program. From August 11th to the 15th, 2025. Now, I think that when we say summer, when we say summer, you know what we mean, right? We don't have summer, winter, snow, whatever. When we say summer, you know what we mean. When the long break from school. And I think in the Caribbean, and especially in schools in St. Vincent, whenever there's that long break, holiday break, the long summer break, that young people should get involved in summer event. I remember growing up as a young boy, my grandmother, I hated it. I hated it, and I couldn't tell her I hated it. But I had to go. I didn't have a choice. I had to go to summer camp at school from this time to this time. I then had to go to another summer camp at church from this time to this time. And my auntie Barbara would make sure that I go from this one to this one. So I spent my entire summer going that, and I hated that. But looking back at it now, I'm saying, wow, I'm happy I did those things. Yeah. Good morning to the National Youth Council as well too. I did a lot of that in the National Youth Council. Yeah. So you are invited, if you between the age of 12 to 17, you're invited to join them for an exciting new adventure in environmental exploration and discovery on the beautiful island of Canawan. Yeah. It starts, you can sign up at the Canawan Secondary School between 9 and 3 p.m. All right. This brand new initiative is part of the National Ridge to Reef Summer Youth Engagement Program, and is delivered in partnership with the Canawan Group. Yeah, empowering young minds to become the next generation of environmental stewards. I'm saying the reason why I'm doing this as well, because my daughter is so much into this kind of a thing, right? You can get involved in activities such as hike to Mount Royal. I've done that. I love it. It's amazing. I've done that like many years ago, right? Many years ago. Beach safety and conservation, composting workshop, creative painting sessions, and much more. You can register. Yeah, just make contact with them, and registration closed on the 6th of August at 4 p.m. Yeah. All right. So there's that. There's another one from Canawan as well too. Shady update. While Shady get it up for me. It's a video that I want to share with you. All right. Good thing. But let me talk about the bad thing now. But Marsha is gonna come on and interrupt me. But I'm gonna start it and I'm gonna continue it. So my daughter, who I just mentioned, came home, and she's got to go back up to Canada earlier than usual. Then you come home for summer, you spend entire summer. But she's going back up. She's traveling today and going back up, and won't be back down until whenever, right? She needed that sunlight and the sea and all of that, so we had to bring her home. My daughter had recently turned 18 as well. Imagine that, 18 years old. And I was having that conversation with her just the other day, and it wasn't nice. Boyfriend and all these things, it wasn't nice. So my daughter went day before yesterday to try to get an identification card. I see Marshall here. Thank you very much, Marshall. When we come, we'll take you still. She tried to get an identification card at the Bel-Air Center, because it's in West St. George. An ID card. Marshall, you coming in there? Let me see if you can allow me. Let's discuss this, Marshall. Good morning, my buddy. Good morning.
Good morning, Big.
Good morning.
And good morning to all of your listeners across the globe, at home, wherever they are.
All right. Marshall, you got something specific you're going to talk about this morning, or you want to join me in something that I'm discussing?
Well, I did, but I would have
Okay.
accommodate you.
Let me just let me
What you're talking about is something I think that's important to
Right.
There's information that needs to be out there. We need to put the information out there.
Right, and it's something that I know you will be interested in. You of all people, all of you people will be interested in. All you.
But clearly, you the NDP man wanted to.
I'm not an NDP man, and I had to tell somebody yesterday I'm neither NDP nor ULP. So I know you the ULP mouthpiece will be interested in. So she went, and you can advise me as well too, right? You can advise me as a member of the political party, the establishment, right? As a member of the camaraderie, right? As a member, what's the shady cult? I'm not going to use that word. You're a member of it. you can advise me on this, all right? She went to get her ID card.
Right.
And, of course, your brother, James, went to get her ID card. And upon stayed within line and a lot went through the process, upon getting up there, they took a look at her information, what you're supposed to carry, your birth certificate, whatever, and told her she can't get an ID card. Now, her bigger brother, James stepped in and said, but why? She's 18 years old. Why can't she get an ID card? It was said to her that you've got to be living in the constituency for 6 months to get an ID card. Now, my daughter graduated from the girls' high school, went to Sugar Miller Canopy, graduated from the girls' high school, left the girls' high school and went to boarding school in Canada. Lived most of our life in Villa on the part of Bungwe for West St. George. That she doesn't remember living much, her memory of living anywhere else is very, it's not very good. She lived most of her life. She turned 18, of that 18 years, she probably would have lived about 16 of those years in Villa, West St. George, on the borderline to West, which is in West St. George.
Right.
And she has been told she cannot get an ID card because she's got to be living in the constituency for 6 months. She's a student who is going to school in Canada, but she cannot get an ID card. Is it because her name is Ty Mitchell Joseph? Is it because who her mother is? Who her grandfather is? Well, not who her father is, because you can't align me to NDP or what. But she's been told she cannot get an ID card. Not that she need the ID card to vote, because she won't be here for elections. She will be back in university in Canada, and she will not be coming home. She don't need an ID card to vote, but you cannot get an ID card because you have to be living in the constituency for 6 months. Now, ID cards are only for the purpose of voting? No? Is that what it comes to? That you only need an ID card just for voting purposes? In North America, anywhere you go and you stop, the first thing they ask you for ID. She's going into a university, she needs an ID card. Yes, sir.
Back up.
Yes, sir.
Back up. Right. You said a lot, and we don't need to go to America. So there is, we can figure this out, because I'll tell you that it is easy, and I understand and appreciate why you can attribute it politics, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. When my daughter turned 18, I'm living in West St. George. My daughter from the other birth lived, well, not all of the time, but most of her life, she lived in Fountain with her mom. When my daughter turned 18 and she went to get the ID card, I decided that I would take her to Forest Mackey for her to get the ID card. And it's a good thing I was there, because of course she's young and they wanted proof that she's from the constituency and so on and so on. listen, she had lived in Fountain all of her life. Oh, pretty much all of her life, she had lived in Fountain with her mom. And me, although my mom and I are separate, we both live in Western George. She lives in Western George. It would have been easy, but it's a good thing I was there. I didn't know who the huge gentleman was who was doing the matter, but you know, he brought the birth certificate and all that stuff, and I had to be there to listen. Here's where I live. That's where your mom lives. We've been living in Western George for most of our life. Now, I was listening to the Parliament just recently when Senator Bruce asked a question of Camilo Gonzalez, who is the Minister of IT. And one of the responses, a part of the response that came out was exactly what it discussing. We really do not have an ID card, you know, a national ID card. What we have is a voter registration card. That's essentially what we have.
But was that we always had that? That is what we always had?
Bing, if you're interested.
Sound like your Prime Minister there. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. I can't help it. It's my daughter.
What we have, it says national ID, but in truth and in fact, what we do have is a voter registration card. That's why, for example, when Vincent to live overseas, come home and try to get what we call the national ID card, they can't get it unless they can prove that they've been here for at least 6 months. That's a standard rule across the board. Now, the fact that you mentioned students is an important discussion because I believe, and I can be wrong because I'm not, and I shouldn't say, but I'm going to venture to state and give people an opportunity to correct me. Jomo comes later. He may have a bit more knowledge of what the law says. But I believe, especially when it comes to elections and voting, there are certain individuals who are exempt from the 6-month situation. I believe students, people studying, I believe diplomats, people working for international organizations and so forth, regional organizations, I believe are exempt from that 6-month situation. So for example, that is why somebody who's in Barbados or Jamaica.
What about someone who is in prison?
Even though they've been out for a year, somebody who lives in Jamaica or in Barbados or in Trinidad who's studying can actually come and vote because I believe that students, people studying overseas, are exempt from that 6-month scenario. So that the gentleman referring to the 6-month situation is not incorrect because to get that voter registration card, which is what it really is, you are required to be in the constituency for 6 months. All right, but I believe that some explanation of the situation is all that is necessary, and there can be a discussion of that, and the conclusion will then be made whether or not your daughter will qualify for the voter registration card.
Okay,
national ID.
I appreciate that, right? And you said that it needed some discussion and all that. Now, a call was made to the office, the office of the supervisor of election, to verify and confirm whether she can get an ID card.
Right.
And the response was no, she cannot get an ID card. Now you're saying, and I think you may be correct, that we don't have an ID card. What we have is a voter registration card.
Eligible to vote.
Okay, so as part of a modern post-colonial society, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the modern post-colonial society, we do not have ID cards?
Well, look.
Is that what you're telling me?
Again, we have different forms of ID, and again, the question that Camilo answered last week in Parliament went into this issue. That we have driver's license, which is a form of ID. We have the voter registration card, that's a form of ID, and we have the passport, that's also a form of ID, right? So we have three acceptable forms of ID.
And nobody can get up and tell Camilo talking stupidness?
Bing. Bing, stop
An
it.
ID card is an
Stop
ID
it.
card. Don't tell me about passport and driver's license and all that.
Bing, if you want. I know you want ratings and so on. But
No, this is not about rating. This is about my child trying to get an ID card. So don't put it down like that. You were able to get yours for your child. So you feel it's different for you. For me, it's different. Go ahead.
Bing. No, it's not different. And I can appreciate that what you're doing this morning. But look, people listening and the information that we're giving out would help somebody else. So let me not politicize it and emotionalize it and so on.
No. You're the one who took it to Parliament, You took it to Parliament. I am responding to what you're saying, right? I'm asking the question that you're saying that in St. Vincent, a modern post-colonial society, we do not have something that's called an ID card, and you're saying, well, Camilo said we have a passport, your driver's license, but nothing called an ID card but a voter's registration card in this day and age? Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead now, I'll let you speak.
Like I said to you, just like in the US, you can be identified by a driver's license. Just like in the Grenadines, just like most, as you call them, post-colonial countries. You can be identified by a passport, and there is what we have that is essentially, and I'm responding to you based on information from Parliament just last week. Essentially, a voter registration card, because once you get that card, it says national ID card on it, but once you get that card, you are eligible to vote, and so that is why there is a restriction on that card, or part of the qualification to get that card is that you be 18 years old, one, and two, that you be living in the constituency for at least 6 months, because it registers you as a voter as well. Okay?
But to open my bank account, you need 2 ID. Right.
Hold on. Shady's asking a question.
Hello?
Shady wants to come in and ask you what you normally don't do. Go ahead,
no,
Shady.
I was saying, even to open my bank account, you need 2 IDs.
Right.
I have a friend came.
Hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey, don't say that, Shady. Hey, why you said, right? You went with your daughter. You had a similar issue, but you got it resolved. Correct?
Yes.
Right. That is Cian Marshall, a member because.
Don't do that. Please.
But you got it resolved. Okay, Shady, ask a question, Shady. Shady, make a comment. Shady want to say something to you. Just listen, please. Just listen 1 minute. Shady, just a couple seconds. Shady, go ahead.
I have a friend come from prison on Monday, and he get his ID the same day.
You heard that?
He just go and get his ID.
He had a friend who came out of prison
after 6 years.
On Monday. He was in prison after 6 years. And he went the same day he came out and got his ID card.
Right. And I'm trying to figure out exactly. I mean, so what I suggested Shady that the same thing, that he wasn't in the constituency, but we know why he wasn't in the constituency. He was incarcerated.
So that's one of the exemptions in the law.
That was involuntary. All right, but we know where he was. So naturally, you would be treated as being domiciled in a particular place because you were involuntarily incarcerated at the prison for 6 years. I mean, I could understand. I could just be logical about that. This is not somebody who's overseas or was moving around. This is somebody who was incarcerated involuntarily. But naturally, you'll be domiciled as of your last address. You know what I mean? But the thing about it being is that he spoke about the issue of the bank, and that's something that is put out by the central bank, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and that pressure coming from higher up, Western powers, where all of these requirements are put on us to open a bank account because of money laundering and all kind of nonsense, right? And so that there's a requirement there. I know I had to do it, right? So the thing about it being is, look, the situation of your daughter or anybody, and individuals listening to me this morning would know that whether it is you come from the state, you're living in the state of Vincent, you live in the state, and supposing you come home or what have you, and you're trying to get the ID card, you would be told that you've not been living in the country or you've not been living in the constituency for 6 months, and so you're not eligible. because of that requirement that is embedded in the law for that card. That's a legal requirement. That's a legal requirement. And I hear you. Your daughter has to go back to Canada soon. And you said you called and you were told no, she doesn't qualify. So, which means I am wrong regarding the issue of the student living overseas. But we have to appreciate that until, and that was part of the question that Camilla was answering, until we put things together, and that is part of the project, I can't remember the project that is happening now, where, there'll be a single number and supposed moving towards a national identification card. That process, I believe, is, as I said, is part of a project that's happening now. And so hopefully, very soon, we can have that single identification card, national identification card, that gives us a unique number that, like the US, for example, with the Social Security number, we'll be able to carry throughout for life. The children, when they're born, will get signed the number. When they're at a certain age, they'll get the card with that number that follows you throughout your life. But until then, what we essentially have is like the passport and the national ID card, which is also your voter registration card, and the law stipulates certain qualifications for that card. And part of that is that you be resident in the country in a particular location for 6 months. And that's not to do with whether you're Bing Joseph, Ty Mitchell, Sean Marshall. It does. Because I'm sure other people listening can tell you, yes, I went, and I was told the same thing. And they named Ty Mitchell, and James Mitchell in the grandfather.
But Sian. Your explanation of the minister's justification as an individual, pull out yourself from Sean Marshall, the labor man. That makes sense to you?
What do you mean it makes sense? In reality, that's what we have. It is what we have.
But as to why it is like that, as to why, does that make sense?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Why we don't have an ID card but a voter registration card instead? That makes sense?
Look, Bling,
I have an ID card in my wallet.
Bling, it's what we have, and we can move towards something that is.
So why the removal of an ID card?
Listen to what he said. Because I remember he was also making it was answering Bruce the same question. Senator Bruce, he was making the point that a few years ago they tried to do it, and there was talk about you will be trying to give children ID cards to make the vote and so on and so on, and so they scrapped the plan because of it was close to election and so on. I mean, the full answer is there. You should listen to it. The full answer is there.
So we no longer doing ID cards because we're concerned about the voting irregularities.
If that's what you hear, fine. But I'm sure other people listening heard something else. But I can't stop you from hearing. I'm asking a question. I'm asking your question. I'm asking your question, Sian.
If
that's what you hear, that's fine. But as I said to you, in the answer from the Minister of Technology to Senator Bruce last week, one of the things that he said was a few years ago, the program had started where they were assigning individual numbers, started during school and so on, giving them numbers and so on, for the process of that unique number, like a social security number that would follow you throughout your life. And the people start, the opposition and so on, whoever started to talk about trying to give children ID cards so they could vote to make elections and so on and so on. So that didn't continue. But there is plan based on the answer that he gave to move in that direction. Now, of course, if you started that this month or last month, again, elections this year, you can imagine the outcry. So, but he did say that there are plans through the current project to move in the direction of a national ID card, which would include things like a unique number for all intentions going forward. But as of now, we have this. We have the ID. You have yours. I'm sure Louis has hers. So I mean, does James have it?
No, he don't, because
did he apply for it?
Yes, he did as well too. And he was told no. He was told that he did apply because he's going to school. He's in university in Canada. Born Vincentian, born at the hospital up at the hill there. So from Galway Hospital,
Right.
you know,
Right,
lived
right.
in St. Vincent and being told that you can't get an ID card because you
Yeah,
have
but-
to
yeah,
you,
but
you,
it's not-
you have to be
Bing,
living in
it's
the
not
country at the time you apply for the ID card
Bing,
for 6 months.
Bing, your son and your daughter are not the first Vincentians who've been told that because of this 6 month requirement, they cannot have an ID card.
And it's
So don't
wrong.
make it
And
about-
I'm saying it is wrong. Let's remove my son and my daughter. And I'm
is the
saying
law.
it is wrong.
It's the law.
But it is wrong. So because it's the law, it makes it right?
It is the law.
Because
No,
it's the
change
law,
the
it
law.
makes it right?
No, change the law. And when it change the law, then your party that you try to talk about.
Okay, so why you okay? You the one bringing in party now. You know who's going to be disenfranchised most? You know who's going to be disenfranchised most?
And give them ID card and give them. Then come on.
Seeing that you're talking about my party and my party, you know who's going to be disenfranchised most? Your party. Your party will be the one who will be disenfranchised most. Who going to suffer most because of this? Because your party have a lot of students overseas and they will come back and they will try to get an ID card. Your party have students who came out of community college who give it the $500, you know, and for encouragement to vote, in my opinion, right? And when they go and try to vote, they're going to get the same response. Your party will be disenfranchised.
Are you suggesting that the people who get the $500 are Labour supporters?
No. I say, no. What you listen to? Stick breaking news this morning, now, man. Come on, man. You do better than that, man. Stick breaking news this morning, now. But do you see this stupidness in this law? Can you see the stupidness in this law?
No, bling.
Not bling, bing. I'm not. This is not Star really. You're accustomed to your labor cult. This is not your labor cult.
What we need to do is change the law. But again, one would then you see, we have to be honest. If at this point in time the law is changing, for example, to say that there is no requirement of living in the constituency or the country for 6 months, in the country for 6 months, then you could imagine how that can be perceived. You could imagine how that can be perceived, but that has always been the law. And this morning, it is contentious and stupid and wrong and all that stuff because of the incident that happened regarding your children. But similar incidents have happened all the time, and I'm sure you know of that. So it's the law we have. Until it changes, the one that we have.
Do you think it should change?
There has to be some kind of guardrails thing. And so if there can't be, what we need to do is have a national ID card that has nothing to do with your voter registration. I think that's what we need to, because in terms of voting, there has to be some sort of guidelines and guardrails around the right to vote in St. Vincent and Grenadines. So I don't see it being reduced from 6 months. What we need is a national ID card that you can get as soon as you're 18, that is a national ID card that has certain characteristics about it. Absolutely. But the voting is something. Those are two different things, really. And unfortunately, what we do have is in a quote-unquote national ID card that twins in as a voter registration card, or rather, voter registration card that is referred to as a national ID card. And that is why there's that challenge right now.
That is not true, because if it's twins in and it is both a voter's ID card, voter registration card, and an ID card, people who turn 18, students who turn 18. I
said to you, it's a voter registration card that is referred to as a national right.
But
so
it is.
It's first and foremost, in my view, a voter registration card, but it's referred as a national ID card. That's my view of it, really, based on the explanation.
And your final comment is that you think the law should change because the law makes sense?
My final comment is that we need to get to a place where we have a national ID card that with unique characteristics that is not necessarily tied into one's ability to vote.
So the present law, do you think finally that it should change because it doesn't make sense? It is stupidness?
Let me repeat finally that we need a national ID card, as I was explained last week by Camilo, and I agree with him fully. And of course, that would have its own law to determine the characteristics of that national ID card, what the characteristics are and so forth. We need that is not tied to one's ability to vote.
And what should happen between now and then? What should happen? To people like, not my daughter, but other people who are experiencing the same problem. What should happen?
Individuals who do not qualify for the voter registration card would not get the voter registration card until they qualify to have it.
Thank you very much. Thank
All
you
right.
very much,
Have a
my
good one.
brother. You too, have a good one. And it was interesting information. A lot of persons are commenting on it and saying that they didn't know this, they didn't know that, and making suggestions and all of
But
that.
there you go.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Interesting.
There you go. So at
Thank
least
you. But I ain't going to make me stop
I
talking about
informed
it.
this morning.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, Council said that yesterday he said that he will be dealing with something today, and hopefully you'll trying to get in. Now we just was chatting with him, and he's trying to get in, especially on this issue. All right, Shady, can you message him and see if he is just tell him to try and come in on the link on his phone. Yeah. Because I need if it's one morning, I need counsels this morning. Hold on, let me just tell him. Yeah. So Vincentians, especially students, students who the ULP have invested in. Most of them, some of them. Students who are coming out of the community college. Students who just turning 18, who are given you $500. Students. What will happen to them? Will the lobby change for them? That's all we need to know. Will the lobby change for them? We're waiting on council, Mr. Weeks. I'll take you after because it's interesting to get your take on it. But I'm waiting on council. Okay, okay. Let me take you, Mr. Weeks. Let me take you. You know about these things. Good morning, Mr. Weeks. Good morning.
Morning, Shady. Morning, listeners. In 1982, the Labour Party created a law to have Vincentians who are eligible to vote to do so with an ID card. So a picture ID. I believe the hope that it would have reduced the number of persons who voted while not eligible to vote. We are operating under that law up to today with respect to voter registration. In 1982, it was the first time most Vincentians were given an opportunity to get a picture ID, and therefore that ID became accepted for use, generally speaking, for identification purposes. There was not a lot of verification that went into that process. All right? So you had an enumerator come into your home and they ask you your age. They didn't require proof of your age. They ask you for your name. They didn't require proof of your name. Because they were from the area and they had a good idea of who they were dealing with. And so the voters list was updated and that registration was done. That's what they're using up to today. In sometime between 2005
Mr. Weeks, let me just give you a heads up that we got council backstage, okay? But just finish wrapping up your point.
Let me give him his time. Sorry,
So
Thomas.
you can call you can come back in after, okay? Because
Yeah, if it's
yeah,
necessary.
yeah, okay, all right, cool, all right, cool,
All right.
all right,
Sorry, Jomo.
yeah. So okay, let's bring him in, Shady. Okay, you got him there.
Plain talk. Plain talk. Plain talk with Jumo Thomas.
So much things to say right now.
All you talk now on OMG.
Morning to you, morning Shady. Most of all, good morning to your listeners. Bring you up. I wasn't able to listen to anything.
Yeah, yes.
And I'm at the
I'm aware.
airport, so
Yes, I'm aware.
tell me what's happening.
You mentioned yesterday that you may not be on this morning because you're traveling. Yeah. All right. So day before yesterday, my daughter, who just turned 18, went to try to get her identification card. All right. You know, you have to go to the constituency in which you're living to get your ID card. So she went in the West St. George area in Bel Air, where she's been living for most of her life. So my daughter went to Sugar Mill Academy, went to Girls High School, graduated from Girls High School, went off to Canada to boarding school, finished boarding school, now going into university in Canada. Okay? She's traveling today to go back to Canada. However, she needs an ID card. Not necessarily to vote, but she needs to have an ID card. But she was told that she cannot get an ID card because she's not been living in the constituency for 6 months. And as a result, she can't get an ID card.
Well,
I need your input on this.
Look, in other countries, the birth and death registry are connected to each other, and the birth and death registry are also connected to the Electoral Commission. So once people get to the point, the requisite age, whether it's 18 or 21 or 16 in some countries, they are automatically registered. Now, I am not so sure why any government official would want to block a young person who goes to be registered on turning 18. They may say that if you can show, they're trying to protect against the mischief where you have to be verifiably known to be living in a particular area for the requisite period. But you know what throws that out of the window? The 15-day registration period just before elections.
Correct.
So there has to be a way in which government officials can do the due diligence to make sure this is Bing Joseph's daughter, this is Louise Mitchell's daughter, here's where she lived, and if she can show minimum bona fides, then that person should be.
Kong says is
Unfortunately, we don't have that situation here in St. Vincent. So you could have a selective situation where on the whim of the person doing the registration, a particular person is allowed to register, and another citizen is not allowed to register. That creates a real problem, and it creates a real problem for young people because the governing party has said time and time again that it's a party of youth, that they even foolhardily say that they have the majority of youth with them. Yet, you will have these kind of hindrances that are placed in the way. the law does say that you have to show that you are living. But if you go away as a student, as in the case of your daughter, you are resident of the place where you live. So, for example, someone may have left and gone to study for a while, but that person, anyone who knows that person in that area, would be able to say clearly, yeah, I know Jomo Thomas. He live behind Calic Walk. So if I go down there, even though I may be gone for a little while, because we know that political parties would bring in people from North America to vote who might be coming to St. Vincent to vote for the first time in 5 years. So I think that the authorities need to decide what they want to do. They want to make a hard and fast rule, or they want to ensure that the system, in order to make sure that the system is foolproof, or they want to willy-nilly decide who would be allowed registered and who would not be allowed registered. So that is my take on that. But it is a kind of an assault on young people, where you have a situation where a young woman turns 18, wants to register to vote, and the authorities are saying, look, you can't do it for one reason or the other. And in your daughter's case, that she had been living out of the country some period. Because how do you square that policy with somebody coming in sometime in the next few months to cast a vote? And we know that happens. In fact, we know that political parties sponsor. There was a time when the governing party would sponsor students to come up from UE to vote, where they would sponsor people to come in from North America to vote.
Council, I once had an interview with the Prime Minister right in here, and I asked him when a plane load of students from Barbados came in, and I asked him who sponsored the plane, and he said, someone who donated to the party. In other words, he actually admitted that students were brought in to vote.
Just to vote. Yeah.
Yes.
So
and the
I think
question,
that
the question, what to my daughter issue wasn't that they were challenging whether she was from West St. Georgia or not.
But she had been out for a while. That she had been out for some time.
Yes. And she have to be here for 6 months or not.
Right.
Now,
right.
The other issue that I also think, and my contention with this issue also, Council, is should an ID card be only for voting purposes or to identify you? You know, Council, living in North America, when you're stopped, the first thing they ask for most times is your ID. You go into
and then you can show a driver's license. You can show their number, different.
You have to have some form of
pieces
ID on you
that you can show. Yeah.
Right? She do not have a driver's license.
Because being that's an important point that you are making. An ID card is not necessarily a card that to vote. Well, in most countries, the identification card is the identification card. You may use it to vote, to establish bona fides, but the ID card is not primarily, solely for someone who wants to vote. But that is a problematic situation, particularly where we know that the authorities over the years have sponsored people to come in at very short notice. They come in just before election, they cast a vote, and then they go back. And that is even more pernicious because many of these people who come in to vote have no other connection to the country except for the fact that they are registered here, that they are citizens, and they simply vote and leave. So that's a problematic situation. And I remember flagging this. You may recall. I remember flagging this on your program, where the issue of persons in the Grenadines, where the electoral Miss Dora, what's her last name again?
James.
Miss James, that said that young people have to know that you can't trick us, and if you try to trick us, there are going to be repercussions, which I think was part of the effort to frustrate young people who were trying to vote. Because what are they going to say? You have an emergency and people had to run from a hurricane, and then when they try to go back to their place of abode, their place of residence to vote, you're going to tell them that they can't vote because a hurricane chased them from where, particularly where the government knows that the hurricane chased them. The government has been sponsoring people to stay on the mainland. And then you had a major authority like Miss James telling people what you did. So those are some of the problems that I think that we have to work on.
Yeah, Council. And my daughter really, with regards to voting, that's not our priority. However, she comes home every Christmas, every Easter, every summer, every break that there is. She's home. But now being told, and in fact, the officer who was doing the ID card contacted the election supervisor of our office, called
Electoral office.
electoral office, and verified that she cannot be identified. Shady, you just
Yeah, I got a message from a diplomat. Said his mom came home in less than 2 months, and he was living in foreign and came home in less than 2 months and get her ID card, and he who is living here can't get his. He was told he can get one.
a message that just came in that Shady was just reading. Did you hear it, Council?
No, I did not.
It's a message from a person's a diplomat. His mother is living overseas and came home and get her ID card in less than 2 months. And he chose here, but who travels a lot. He was told he can't get one. He can't get one.
But that's the thing. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's the arbitrary nature of what's happening. You can't have you either have an across the board rule, or you can't pick and choose, because once you start pick and choosing, it's going to create problems in the system. People are going to think that there's favoritism. People are going to think that decisions are made based on politics and so on. So it brings the electoral office into disrepute, and that's the last thing you want in a situation where we are approaching a very important elections, which may have serious repercussions on the ways in which things are done.
Additionally, of course, Louise, who's a lawyer, just sent a message saying that the way law being interpreted is disenfranchising young people, especially students. She just sent that message.
Well, that's an important point. If you have a number of students who are living abroad and they may come home, like many of them do, around this time for a long vacation, and they're turning 18, then you have a situation they're trying to get registered before they return to school in late August or September. So it's really a problem. That's why I said at the beginning that in more advanced countries, what they do is they have a connectivity system and the electoral office. So once somebody dies, that person is removed from the system. Once somebody turns 18, that person goes onto the system, and it makes the easier access and for the democratic process to work even better. If you don't have a system like that, then it's arbitrary. As for the example you just gave, somebody came home 2 months and they were able to get it, and this young lady has difficulties. And then I go back to what Ms. James said earlier about people who live in the disaster zone as a result of Hurricane Beryl last year. So hopefully the authorities can work it out.
Well, she's traveling today, so she won't, her situation won't be worked out. Unfortunately, she'll be traveling without her ID card. But thank you, Council. We know that you're on the move, so thank you for coming in.
Yes, I'm on assignment, so
yeah, on this special.
We will report on it.
You
All
got
the
the
best. Thank you.
assignment, and I hope you understand your assignment. This
I
message
have always, I, I have always understood my assignment until we
this
meet
message
again.
will
Take care.
disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Council.
All right.
Thank you very much. That was our Kong today. Let's go to the top, come back, and we're gonna take some calls. I hope Mr. Weeks can call back because I know he was in making some interesting points. Go to the top, Shady. Let's do it. I gotta do it from here. Let's do it now.
Wake up with the Boom 1069, the sound setter of radio.
Ain't got no money back calling me splurge. Why me jump right off the curb?
New year, different lane.
Serious thing. Somebody say. If I feel like when I feel like I just drink until I drunk. When we party, we no normal, we just push things to the ground. We just teared up in the country and the leeward in the town. We make the place rumble. Like when Sufe erupt. The whole place erupt. Like when Sufe erupt. The whole place erupt. Boom! We just sit up and we gone. Mash it up and we gone. We shell it down and we gone. Mash it up and we gone. Somebody say, point over so and run. Look the ashes a come. Point over so and run. Look the fire come. Point over so and run. Look the lava come. Point over so and run. Hey. You know I am the ruler and I am the commander. Anywhere that I enter, the whole place turn over. If I tell you to run, everybody run. If I tell you to jump, everybody jump. You know what to do. Turn the place like a zoo. We make the place rumble. Like when Sufe erupt. The whole place mash up. Like when Sufe erupt. The whole place mash up. Point over so and run. Look the ashes a come. Point over so and run. Look the fire come. Point over so and run. Look the lava come. Point over so and run.
So the question is it's no longer Liat, but who is bring home the students from Barbados and
My ID expired. I go in and try and get mine. Mine is expired.
well, you have to be living in Union Island for 6 months to get it, and you hear me living in Union Island. Cause your house blew down in Union Island, so I don't know what you're going to do.
My ID is actually expired. It expired last month, I think.
Okay.
So I had to go get.
So you being disenfranchised. They're gonna tell you so. But I want to know the students who ain't come home on LIAC 2020. Yeah, sponsored by a generous donator. All right. What will it say? What song with the split call the name for the man in Canada one? Yeah, Ways. Yeah, a generous donator like Ways, for example, who may want to sponsor LIAC 2020 students coming home on a LIAC chartered flight. As normally happens with the ULP, what is going to happen to them? They don't have IDs, and will they be given the opportunity to have the ID card? Will they? You know, someone made a comment. Mr. Weeks, you can call back now, but you would only have 5 minutes, all right? Because we've got the segment for the Prime Minister press officer. It'll be interesting to hear what he's going to say. Maybe he's going to fight up this morning. I saw an interesting comment here earlier on the live. There's so many of them here, but there was one that stood out. I think it was from Kenson. Yeah, what did he say about citizenship being the highest office in the land, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Kenson, I saw your comment. I can't find it now. I saw it earlier on where you were speaking about citizenship. You can, those of you who want to call, you can call now if you wish. We've got a couple of minutes, okay? Before we get to the next segment with the Prime Minister press officer. which would be at 8:15 this morning. So if you want to call, you call 455-1069. That's the number to call. You call WhatsApp. WhatsApp only, 455-1069. Okay, we got a call coming in. All right. Here's one. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Bing. I know people personally who fly home from New York for vote, and the ID card did expire, and they get the ID card before they could go vote. How that work out?
Wow.
Me know people personally. Me want to call no name. But I know people who fly home. The ID card expire because they up here long now. And they get the ID card before they could go vote. So and this is something that we as Vincentians sit down, know that's happen. Don't do nothing. So okay, Bing, God forbid my daughter go home. Who is a Vincentian by birth? And something happened to my daughter. She gets some kind of food poisoning or some kind of allergic reaction to something and she pass out. How they go identify she pussy call Max or his daughter because she not walking wrong with her passport they home.
Yep.
Because me not want she passport end up in no river with no board paper.
Yep.
And somebody has she, you know what I mean? So what are we doing? An identification card. That's what it is, an identification card. In the case of something, you have to say, yo, but that girl your name such and such. La we call such and such, so sorry we could tell her meet them down casualty. Yo, this is a serious thing and a bing. This bigger than voting and a. But we sit down and we make excuse and have people who supposed to be the pillars of society, people we supposed to look up to because them people they should be watch as little boy read news pan TV, talk news pan radio station and defending them kind of thing. And when them supposed to come and talk, them quiet. But then when somebody else start, they have remorse for say, Bing, this is a serious thing and a Bing. We're talking about how much scholarships we have with people going Taiwan, Venezuela, all about Russia. You go there, your ID card expire, you come home now, somebody gonna pick and choose and say, I ain't gonna give a girl no ID because guess what? She have on a canvas shoes today. And today two people with Nike shoes. We ain't gonna give that boy no ID card. He have on Psycho Bunny. Today is Adidas Day. Big, this is a serious thing and if we not rape, then again, if our house not stink, the rules of them could never be stink. So we love that. Remember they say we love the foot of we neck and we had orgasm. It is the foot of we neck.
Right, buddy.
And we take that and make it joke Bing. Somebody now send me the video, the clip of that same people saying that thing. I listen to that and then not only the man saying, oh, they love the orgasm. Somebody laughing, a big man laughing. Behind that.
Max, you always have an interesting way of putting things. But thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah. So I found the Kenson's comment. So I put it on the screen. Kenson, maybe you can. No, you won't have time. But Kenson, you can call after and develop the point that you made it. He said, so what is the meaning of citizenship? Question mark. How high is the office of citizenship then? Question mark. Should you not be entitled to an ID simply because you are a Vincentian national of the requisite age?
Remember, you say it's not an ID card; it's a voter.
It's a voter registration card. So in this modern, post-colonial society, we don't have an ID card. We only have something that we can use only at election time. Charles, if I take your call, you're gonna have to be very, very short because this is the time for the segment. Okay. So let me see. You're gonna have to be very, very short, Charles, because this is it's Candyman.
Okay,
segment.
well let me call you back. Let me call you back. I'll give you a second.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Lyndon Buffett Vibes Cartel Money. McDuck. Not just Duck, but Curry Duck James. Please tell your partner we're waiting on him. Lyndon Buffett Vibes Cartel Money went in the Emancipation Cricket Tournament. McDuck. Curry Duck. I was told to say, James, tell your partner you have one job to do. He call this man. He vex because they called him Curry Duck James. Lyndon Buffett, 24 hours to put it. No, I'm not saying it's 24. Who said to tell to call the Curry Duck James? Lyndon Biffit, Vibes Cartel Money James, Curry Duck James. It's now time for your partner to call. Bring him in. Bring in his music, Shady. Bring in. Let's dance, folks. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. Lyndon Biffit, Vibes Cartel Money, Curry Duck James. You did your job. You had one assignment to do and you did it. He's here. Good morning to you. Good morning. He's here. Morning.
Good morning, Comrade Shady. How are you doing?
Morning, man. How good?
Boy, tell me he could start out like that, boy. Jesus Lord, it's fire this morning. Thunder. Me tell him I can step away.
I want you to ensure that certain nefarious characters don't suck you into the conundrum.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate you telling me that.
I'm talking to my comrade. I'm not talking to you yet. When I'm ready, I will talk to you. That's all right. Hello?
Yes. We were just having a big
Don't-
laugh off
don't-
mic.
Don't mute my level today, you know. I'm turning it up. I know you say I ain't gonna call. I hear you good. By the way, is your phone line fixed yet? Can I call direct yet?
No. You're gonna still. We're still trying to get this machine that we have here that we use to.
Oh,
the
machine.
call. What you call it? You already, man. You know what
It's not oil flow. It's not oil
No.
flow. It's the machine.
Flow away.
All right.
Yeah. What's it called again?
First of all, I want to state categorically that I have a problem, a serious problem, with the way the law is being interpreted.
Wow, Shady, and a
In
round
this
of applause is needed here, Shady. My God.
I really don't want to say nothing, you know, because you're going to vex with me just now. I have a problem with the way this law is being interpreted this way. It's a very, as I put it while speaking with certain persons, it's a very narrow interpretation of the law. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a student is not an immigrant. So if a person migrates, then and they want to come back home, you know, that's one thing. But if your course of study takes you overseas, it doesn't take you away from your address. You might be living temporarily on campus wherever you are overseas, but your address is still where you live. That is my take on that. Now, I do also have an issue with the way Bing chose to sensationalize this issue. And one of the reasons we have so much ignorance in our country is that people who are supposed to be balanced, people who are supposed to disseminate information, neglect that responsibility in favor of sensationalism to pander to a narrow sect of the society so that they can impress them. It is a sad indictment on our media when people who have the authority and the responsibility so to do are found wanting. Now, I indicated to you, Big, when you called me about this matter, first of all, that you're not the first individual who called me about it. In fact, I pointed out people to you and I called names who I know are ULP supporters, students, who had the same issue, and they called me about it. I even went further, and I heard Shady mention something this morning. I will answer that. To indicate that a close relative of mine who had gone to jail here in St. Vincent before turning 18, before receiving a national ID card or voter registration, and came out and tried to get the ID. This was last year. This was not this year in an election year. This was last year. Only last year. And was told the same thing. Can't get it. You have to wait 6 months because you've never been registered. And he came to me and I couldn't help him. They told me, I called him and I asked him, and they told me, oh, this is the law, this is the way the thing works. I argue with them. I said, no, it shouldn't be like that and so on, but they told me that's the way it is. I told them I can't help you, you gotta wait the 6 months. And I indicated that to you as well yesterday. Now, the way this thing is being conflated this morning, people talking about, oh, I got a brethren that went to jail and come out and got a new ID card. They're specifically talking about people who are registering for an ID card for the first time. Once you get an ID card, your name is on the voters list. It's already on the voters list. And it's not so easy to take people's names off the voters list. So it is obvious that once you already have an ID card, if it expires, it's easier to get it back. Because you're already on the voters list. Just because your ID expires, you don't get struck off the voters list.
But there's a diplomat who ID expires and he says he can't get it. They won't give him it.
Listen to me. Just because
waiting to answer him just now. Let him finish it. Let him finish. I'll respond to him.
You don't get taken off the voters list. You will still be allowed to vote, and you can vote with your driver's license. These are things that people who are on radio are supposed to know. People who are on radio as well are supposed to listen for news and listen to parliamentary debates. Because it was just last week that Camilo Gonzalez stood up in Parliament and explained the new process that is about to come into come into existence.
When?
And he explained
when will it come into existence? When?
Yeah, you ain't know that. The point I'm making is you're supposed to know. So just let me talk.
My daughter leaves today. No, my daughter leaves today. Yeah, but do you know my daughter leaves today? Do you know my daughter and other people children leaves today?
Leave me, let me talk. Let me talk. You're supposed to say when. Do your job.
I got to deal with you just now. Hurry up. No. I'm waiting for you to finish. I'll respond. Don't worry. You say you get a chance to talk. So
Camilo Gonzalez explained that this will come into effect after the election, not before. What is going to happen is, and this is part of the digital transformation project, which includes things like being able to pay your driver's license and your taxes and or your land taxes and all of that online. Basically, you will get a number from the time you're born. And to put it in his own words, the number will follow you for the rest of your life. That is your number. And that number will basically be your voter registration number when you turn 18. Right until you die.
Until we get the social security system in.
That takes care of the issue which we have now. Now imagine how it sounds, that your party operated under the same law
Don't refer to
that
any
your
party
cousin
as
ran
my.
for this morning.
Don't
For
refer
17
to.
years.
Don't refer to me.
I ain't done yet. You say go and let me done.
Oh,
You say
okay.
go and let me done. Let me done. I ain't done yet.
I could do with you this morning.
Your party, Ralph Gonzalez did not implement this law. It's the same law y'all use and the same law y'all just defend all the time. You don't want anybody to come and get registered. All it is when you talk about Leah bringing in people, all it is go all over the world to bring in 1,000 lawyers to prevent people from getting registered. Who all really feel all the talking to this morning? Y'all people stupid. Your party, the NDP, the same ones who jumping up Max Walker and all of them calling in. Y'all is bringing 1,000 lawyers to intimidate voters, to prevent people from getting registered to vote. And now y'all talking about people getting prevented from. When really here is.
Really.
All of a sudden, people concerned about people not being registered to vote. Which one are they really want? And you made the point this morning. This thing will affect Labour way more than it would affect NDP. Because the majority of the young people, especially those who are progressive and study, are Labour they must vote. All the students out there on scholarships and so on, poor people, children, and people from the rural areas, them are Labour. So why would we block them? Why would we want to block them from voting? That makes sense. Y'all let's come up with some argument here. And the final thing I want to say is, again, this sensationalism is uncalled for. Yes, I would like your daughter and your son to get the ID. Nobody wants to hold them back from that. But please, your daughter is in Canada. She's in university. There's such a thing as a student ID, and I'm pretty sure she has one. And that is sufficient for her to use for any identification purpose anywhere in Canada. People who got sense listening to you, big. You don't need a St. Vincent and Grenadines ID in Canada. You don't need one if you have a student ID. And if you insist that she need one, she can die without one. What was she doing all the time before she turned 18? Because she was there in the same Canada. So please, you don't need to go down that road, and you don't need to make this thing political, because you know it's not. In fact, you know that the Prime Minister got involved personally with the matter. Because I spent over half an hour on the phone with you.
Can I talk now?
And you know that the Prime Minister.
Your time is up.
Oh, you know what me say this?
You could say whatever you want. You could say whatever. Yes, I called the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister called. Yes. And what was the result? What was the result?
My time up. You know what me say?
No, you could. I just said it. I said it.
What you said?
I said the Prime Minister got involved. I said the Prime Minister got involved.
This is level of dishonesty again from all of this morning.
Okay. What part?
Let me. But because of this issue, he wants to get in. He really wants to get in. Council call. Oh, I wasn't listening, so Lord, I don't know what I'm talking about. Nothing more than you call him. I beg him to call him.
Let me calm down myself. Let me calm myself so that I don't have another incident this morning with this human. Because I don't know where he is really. Can I speak? You still talking? You still talking?
Public official is wrong. Stop it.
Which public official is being demonized in this situation?
The ones that you are trying to claim is doing this to your children because of who their father is and who their mother is.
Which part of what I said was incorrect? this
But
morning.
that's what you said this morning.
Which
Because
part
it's
of what
because of
I
the
said
father
was
and
incorrect?
the mother.
You tell me which part of what I said was incorrect and sensationalizing the situation. Tell me, give it to me. Identify it.
I just told you.
Identify it.
I just told you.
What did you
Let me
say?
tell
I
you
didn't.
again.
Maybe let me turn my phone some more. I didn't hear you.
Let me tell you again. Be quiet. I'm going to tell you. It's because of who the mother is and who the grandfather is.
Yes, and that is sensationalism.
Because you know. Otherwise.
So wait. My children ain't her mother and father. My daughter. My daughter grandfather is not known to be the founder of the opposition NDP party. My daughter mother is not known to have gone up to being a candidate for the NDP in the same constituency. So what's your minister saying?
And that's so they are single now.
Tell me if what I said is incorrect. So what I said was incorrect.
So you're saying that they have been single?
No, you're interpreting what you want to interpret and put out there. That's what you're interpreting. That I am saying. But tell me if what I said about who is my daughter, mother, and grandfather, isn't that true?
You're shame now.
I shame now.
I didn't know all my life. I know you. I did not know you got shame. This is the first time in my life I realized you got shame.
Let's deal with the other issues. Let me move on one by one. Let me deal with the other issues.
Yeah, move on because shame come in the picture.
Yeah, shame come in the picture. Yeah, remember, and dog eat your conscience too. Dog eat your conscience. Dog eat your conscience. Let me go. Now you said yesterday when we spoke, I said I am going to speak about this issue on radio for more than one reasons, because people need to know what is happening, one, and two, ULP people will also be affected by this. The plain load of people that all it is bringing and talking about, I don't know who NDP is bringing. I'm not a member of the NDP party. I do not support the NDP. I do not support the Labour Party. I vote based on the policies at the time of which election is taking place. I don't carry a party card. I am not. Okay, you know me more than me. You shut up because I shut up and listen to you. I shut up and listen to you. I shut up and listen to you. Now is your time to shut up, but you probably can't shut up. Listen to me, right? I told you that. So when all they bring in the plane loads of students them, which you all will do now, again, as you always do at the election time, because you just talk about NDP bringing in lawyers, not to vote, not to try and get ID cards to vote, but to monitor election.
No, foreign lawyers.
Foreign lawyers, but what? I don't know what they're coming for. Are they coming to? Are they trying to come in to try and vote? Don't we normally have people who come to monitor elections? Don't your government bring in? Don't your government bring in people in the country to monitor the elections? Or are we not supposed to have people coming in to monitor the elections because something is going on? Now let me be sensationalized now. You want sensationalism? You want sensationalism? Let me give it to you in your tail. Is it that something is happening why you don't want the NDP to bring in lawyers to monitor the election process?
Calm down. Ooh, Shabash. Ooh,
Drink some water and go to Drink some water and go to I ain't finished enough. I ain't finished. Give them a camera. I ain't finished. Do you agree? When you talk about my daughter is living in Canada and she has, let me finish. I'm answering, I'm responding to your points one by one as you made them, right? Do you know or do you understand that in places like Canada and North America, most times you need to have more than one ID? So when you say that she will have a university card as an identification card, that there will be times when she will need another ID and she will need a national ID to show as well?
Yeah.
Or you don't know that?
pieces of, in the rare occasion that you need 2 pieces of ID, which is true all over the world, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, she can use her
passport
student ID
and
along
a
with
passport. And do you know as well too that there are certain government institutions that do not accept student IDs?
Which government institution do
Not in St. Vincent, overseas. Do not accept student IDs as a recognizable ID for important issues.
People listening to you, man.
No, they're listening to you too. They're listening to you too.
Sensationalize this thing.
Yeah, but I told you you said that, so I'm sensationalizing it for you now because you came on and started saying that is what I'm doing. So I'm giving you the sensationalism now, and you can't handle it now. Do you see anything wrong? Do you see any? Do you? Oh, you admitted that the system is wrong, right? Will you admit the system is wrong? Yes or no?
What was the first thing I said?
Will you admit that the system now is wrong?
What was the first thing I said when I called?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you must not remember.
I don't remember because I was sensationalizing. Will you admit that the system is wrong? Will you admit?
Hold on. Shady, what was the first thing I said when I called?
You know why Shady not answering? Shady went out of the studio.
Why you take off Shady mic?
I didn't take off Shady mic. Shady's not in the studio. I'll call him just now. He went out of the studio just now. Shady?
Oh, Shady on me. Everybody else on.
Wait, hold on. So, Shady, come in. Shady, go ahead.
Shady, I've got to come back.
Yeah.
What was the first thing I said out of my mouth this morning when I started speaking?
Morning, Comrade
Apart from saying good morning.
Right. So I'm saying to you, you admitted that the system is wrong. You admitted it is wrong. So when you come in here and talking about I trying to sensationalize things, the facts are the facts. When you come and talk about political parties bringing in lawyers,
you asked me a question. I admitted that I do not agree with that law.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
That is the way. Hold on. If that is the way the law is structured, it should and must be changed. What I don't agree with is you coming on the radio to say.
Oh, I mustn't talk about it.
It's particularly and specifically.
I mustn't talk about it. And I also spoke about. Did you? Your age was closed with wax when I spoke about students who are coming out of the community college who are only giving $500, who turning 18. They will also be affected, maybe affected by it. And students that you all are bringing home and lay at plane from Barbados and Trinidad to vote, that they will also be affected by it.
Register to vote. That is your history. That is your party's history. You're earning from it now.
Okay. So you saying then that monitors should not be coming to monitor the election because something nefarious is going on?
Monitors are independent people. And we have
so a political party do not have of their own right and volition to bring in people to monitor the process.
It's a sensible people listening to you.
And there's stupid people listening to you as well too. Who trying to make sense of what you're saying?
What kind of monitor you talking about? Like the one just plug up to computer? The one in front of you there, that's a monitor. NDP paying lawyers to come here as monitors. What kind of shit? Where are they come from?
I don't even know NDP. You know NDP business. I don't even know NDP business. And so what if NDP? Let's just say that is true. Yeah. Let's just say that is true. Let us say that is true. Why is that wrong? Why is that wrong that NDP bringing in people to bring lawyers to monitor? And why is that wrong? Why is that wrong? And why is that wrong? And why is that wrong? Why is that wrong? Why is that wrong? Tell me. I'm calm and I'm asking you as calm as possible. My candy friend, my sweetie friend,
been doing.
My diabetes sweetie
I am
friend,
telling you
why
this.
is it wrong? Why is it wrong?
It's not wrong when NDP do it. It's not wrong.
Okay. Is it wrong? Is it wrong for a political party to bring in lawyers to monitor election process?
That's not what they do. That's not what they do.
What do they do?
That's not what they do.
What did they do?
They get involved.
They get involved in what way? In what way?
Our political process.
By
and they're
doing
not
what?
consensual.
By doing what? By doing what?
What happened last time election day?
By doing what? Say it. Say it. By doing what? Say it.
What?
Say what they did. I don't know.
By
You say,
intimidating people.
how
By
did they
telling
intimidate
Vincent,
people?
You
How?
are not supposed to be able to vote.
And do you have on record someone who could come and verify that they were told by a NDP lawyer who was brought in from outside and told them that do you have someone? Do you have someone who could come and say that?
This is what
Okay.
your whole argument out the window. Because the same people who are disenfranchised, they're listening to you this morning.
Okay.
So
All right.
they know you
And
right.
okay. So I admitted I don't know
They
about
know
that,
you lie.
but maybe they do that. Maybe they do that. Maybe they do that.
They
Will you
know
admit?
that.
Will you admit?
They know
Will you admit that when
People listening to you, so they know you're
Shady, tell me
right.
calm
So
down,
they know
please,
everything else they talk this morning, you're right.
But just start to
You are destroying your own argument. Listen to you.
Man, try
my.
just start to hurt me again. Eh? Let me ask you something. Sweetie, my sweetie friend.
Ask me.
What is it okay? How are you going to manage the plane load of students that you're going to be bringing in at election time to vote when you're saying to some other students they have not been living in a constituency for 6 months? How are you going to deal with that? Or the law will be different for them? By that time, the law will be changed.
Big, I want to explain something again, right? This issue here is a narrow issue. If you have an ID card, some of our students, for instance, go off to study at 20 years old. Some go off at 24 years old, etc., etc. The Miss SVG contestants, for instance, that win a scholarship. Some of them are as old as 24, 25 when they leave to go study. If you have an ID card, a valid ID card, and you go, you can come back at any time with your valid ID card and vote. And even if, listen to this, I want you to listen carefully, as I indicated earlier, but you were not listening. Even if your ID expires, you can vote with your driver's license.
But I'm telling you about a situation where someone do not have a driver's license and someone who do not have a driver's license. I am trying to educate you of the fact of a specific situation, and there are other people who have this similar situation. Yeah, but you alone want to take all the talk? Okay, go on. You take all the talk. Go on. You normally just take all the talk. So go on.
You know why your listeners make sense? You ask me, I quietly ask. Let me answer. Don't answer for me. As I said, your name is already on the voters list when you get the ID initially. That's when your name goes on the voters list in a particular constituency. So even if you go overseas to study and your ID expires while you're there, when you come back, if you have a driver's ID, you can vote with that. If you have a passport, which you will have because it's overseas you come from, you can use that. Because after you got registered to vote, it's just a matter of adequately identifying the individual when you turn up to vote. This issue is a narrow issue about people who are getting registered for the first time. This is why Shady Brethren, who went to jail and his ID expired when he was in jail, he could come out and get it easily because he already registered it. And I say to you that students who are in St. Vincent and Grenadine, this law should not be like that. Students should be allowed to register, which is the first thing. I don't.
But she's not in St. Vincent. She's here now and trying to get registered to go back to university.
Should be able to register, whether it's to vote or to just to get an ID.
Oh, there.
And say
Finally, we at one. Thank you. We at one. We at one. All right. Well, we're at one now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We at one.
In Canada.
So when will the law be changed? Do you know? Do you know when will the law be changed?
But Ben, you see,
no. We're talking not for me now. You're not talking for me. We're talking for the listeners, so people who don't know.
Yeah, you ain't let me talk.
Yeah, but I just asked you a question and I'm waiting for you to answer.
I told you the whole thing has already been revamped and it will come into existence after the election.
Oh, so there'll be people who will be disenfranchised for this election, but they'll be okay for the next election.
Hold on. You also know that the minister spoke with the Attorney General yesterday and asked him to advise on whether or not this is the true interpretation of the law. And if so, then we are going to have it changed to accommodate for students. You also know that thing.
But I just asked you, when will the law be changed? And you told me it will be done after the elections.
But you put your head hard.
I catch you sitting down there when you're supposed to be standing up. Will the real... What happened? Everybody just heard you said that. Everybody just heard you said that the law will be changed after the elections. That's why I asked you. So there will be people who will be disenfranchised for this election.
Listen to me. That's why, as a journalist, as an individual who has this responsibility, you're supposed to be paying attention to the news. You're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on in Parliament. You don't just come and read it with comments and hate.
I heard what happened in Parliament. I heard the minister saying that we want to go to a system similar to the social system that is used in America, right? I heard all of that.
It's like,
but we a post-colonial modern post-colonial society, as we are, as was beaten into our heads.
That's why I don't answer you, because I don't tell you you're going to let me answer, because you're afraid that will make sense. So you answer.
Go on, buddy. Go on and wrap up. Go on and wrap. Answer and wrap up. I will not interrupt you, and you can do your wrapping up one time.
I will wrap up by saying this. All of this hysteria this morning, all of this manufactured concern is just hypocrisy on full display. Yeah, all of them, all the internet crazies and so on, talking about citizenship and what the value of citizenship for all them crazy people there. When the NDP brings in its battalion of foreign lawyers to intimidate Vincentian citizens out of being registered and being able to vote in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all of them will jump up and clap like they've done for the last few elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I have news for you. If all you think all you're going to do is get away this time, all it's a lie. That ain't going to happen. And the licks that you're accustomed to getting is the same licks you're going to get again. This time, you can have multiplied by 6. We will get the issue sorted out. Whether it's a change that needs to be made or there's some accommodation or whether it's the proper interpretation of the law, we'll get it sorted out. We have never been, our history, we have never ever been the party that forces voter suppression on people. In fact, it is the opposition, the New Democratic Party, who's always been involved in scaremongering and vote suppression in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it continues to be so. That's where I get around. What do we let you live?
Before you go, I just have one. I know I told you I would just listen and let you go. But do you mind? Do you mind? Okay, all right. Sorry. Go on. Sorry, go on. No. Go on. It's okay. You sure you want me to ask you? Yeah. So all persons who are citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines can and will be able to vote once they have either a driver's license and or a passport.
Bing. If your name is on Bing, this is common knowledge, man. You're supposed to be able to
And you
educate
get your
listener.
name on the list.
If
No,
your
this
name-
is part of the
Listen
education
to me.
process. This is part of the education. You need to, and you know radio, you know radio function. This is also part of the education process. Why you being a dummy this
You
morning
want
and
me
so
answer?
stupid?
Want me
Huh?
answer?
You're
You don't want me
talking below the
answer? You
cattle
don't want me
tail this morning, man.
You like ask me a question and answer the question for yourself. Answer the question. Bing, answer your question. Your Honor, please instruct the way to answer the question. If your name is on the voters list, you can go and vote, and you just need a piece of ID to identify yourself as the person who is registered on the voters list to vote.
What the below your nose?
Oh.
Thank you. I have a question. He didn't even want me to ask him while he was on, but I will ask it when he's gone. Shady, take me away. We got some match to play? Yeah, some match I have to play? Or are you going to play a song and we line up there at them? All is sick around. I have a big question I want to ask that I show nobody ain't think about. I have a big question I'm going to ask that I show nobody ain't think about. Did he play music? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Shady again. He just text you there quick. You see how it is operate? You see how the ULP count is operate? He just sent me shady message.
Push it. Sweetest at a jungle street. Come in the party, it took me about 50 seconds before me could spot my friend. He alone had a bottle of petrol, asking if me dip on it. Always asking me stupidness. Mary had a little and my mommy had a rum dog. Come like 10 tower go up with the glass, the alcohol of me moving dog. 84.5, but them kind of speed it does make me crash. I could give a tutorial how to handle it if the rum was cars. 750 ml of a V6, the family size turbocharged. Hello, shadow your brakes. You must think I'm a little boy. I will go here. I say nobody could stop this arcade. Them no say me fully done. Outside with me jiggy friend a junk. I just take another shot. So you know me active. I jam in another girl. I say nobody could stop this arcade. Nobody could stop this up. Ain't nobody could stop this arcade. I have a red button, don't make me push it. I have a red button, don't make me push it. I have a red button, don't make me push it. Push it. Red button. I have a red button, don't make me push it. I have a red button, don't make me push it. I have a red button, don't make me push it. Push it.
Red button. Boy! Tell them say
No. You ain't going to turn my station into Star FM. No. You and Candy Boy, Sweetie Boy is not going to turn my station into Star FM. All they ain't going to make this an arm of the ULP. And I know that is all the plan. Now, my question. I wanted to ask him before you run off. But he said, whatever you know him out. Once your name is on the voters list, you can be registered, you can vote. How do you get your name on the voters list? By being a citizen of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, first and foremost, and also living in a constituency. Last weekend we had a cricket tournament in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in that tournament, we had the legends of cricket, who we all should be proud of, came to St. Vincent. And in the finals of the cricket tournament, in the halftime closing ceremony, Prime Minister Gonsalves called each legend on stage and delivered to them a plaque. Some people have problem with the plaque. Them stupid. Pressy, just stupid, man. There's a tea for you by Chill Spot. Pressy, go by Chill Spot, and if you want carry a bush tea, I'm sure they'll get it for you, because anything you want by Chill Spot, you can get it. Yeah? Any kind of tea you want, any kind of bush tea you want, you can get it. I don't have a problem with the plaque. I think the plaque is one that is symbolic of the occasion, and I don't have no problem with the plaque with 2 arms with broken chains, and a broken chain. But the main thing in that closing ceremony was Prime Minister Gonsalves making the announcement that these fellas behind me here, among me here, the legends who standing here next to me, those on my right and those on my left, today are officially made citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'll pause right there. Your sensationalism, let me give it to you in detail now. I'll pause right there. That is the sensationalism for you. These fellas, these people here, on my right and on my left, today I am proud to announce were made citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and in other words, they have Vincentian passports. Now the law says you have to be living in a constituency for 6 months or more. Will they have more privilege to get an ID card than my daughter who was born here, who's also a citizen? Will they have more privilege if they decide to come to St. Vincent and stay 6 months, which my daughter cannot because she's in university in Canada, and my son, who's also going to get his first ID, let me change that, his first quote-unquote voter registration identification card, who cannot be in St. Vincent for 6 months at a time because they're overseas studying. Will they have more privilege, the legends, if they decide to come to St. Vincent and stay and have a 6 month vacation? Who's gonna answer? Who's gonna put up their hand in the back of the class and answer that question? Who? Go to the top and say, like, I have to take the answer. Oh. No, Mr. Weeks will take us about. I'll take him, but it will go over the top. But let's take him. Mr. Weeks, good morning. I told you can call back, so you're back.
Yes, I am back, big. Good morning, Louis.
Why change the music for, man? Why change the music for?
No, it's not Shady. This is not.
Shady, this is
Monday
not. This is not. No, don't do that.
This is not Monday, Thursday.
This is not Monday, Thursday, Shady. This is a regular call. You call in as a regular caller.
Yeah. So here what? Good morning, Louise Mitchell. I commemorate with you today. I understand you might be somewhere weeping this morning, asking yourself, why did I do that? Bing, I am happy that I chose to study statistics because there are some simpler words that we take for granted and we use them interchangeably. Two simpler words like and, and or. they are significantly different in meaning. And there are those persons who read my official writing and think this kind of writing must have come from the study of language or linguistics. No, it is based on my study of statistics. Because after studying statistics, I understand that words mean so much. You answered the question that I thought you were going to ask, whether or not these legends would be eligible to vote for St. Vincent. As of now, they are not, and I don't think they would ever be able to. I think Sian was wrong this morning when he said the ID that is not currently issued now is not an ID. It is an ID, but it is an ID for a particular purpose being. It's an ID for election purposes. That's why it was introduced in the first place. It was introduced in a law that was passed in either 1982 or just before 1982. That introduced issuing ID cards to voters. So too are student IDs. They are issued for student purposes. The driver's ID, the driver's ID card is for driving purposes, for when the police stop you. Your passport is for traveling. But different people can decide they will use them, whichever ones they want to use, for identification purposes. There's nothing wrong with that. Different authorities, different persons can say, I will choose this one, that one, and the other one for identification purposes. But there's no law that says that you must use it for identification purposes. I started making the point that sometime just before 2010, we got monies from the World Bank. Some were loan and others were grants. And one of the things we were required, a couple of things. Among the number of things that we were to achieve under that was the health information system, health management information system, that was one. And the other thing was a multipurpose ID. This is what would have been our national ID. A lot of work was done, laws prepared, equipment bought to print ID. But it so happened that all of this culminated sometime in 2015, when we were heading into our general elections. And when those of us who were responsible for implementing that project said, let us try it, let us see how the system would work, by issuing ID under the multi-purpose ID to students, a big song and dance was made about it, issuing ID cards so you can allow students to vote. No, that was a national ID. You still needed to be registered to vote. And given the sensitivity of politicians, the minister and the cabinet took the decision to stop us from issuing those IDs, because members of the public were crying out that we were issuing those IDs for voting purposes. If it was left to me, I would have continued to issue them, because I know nobody can go into the polling station and, well, I believe, and nobody should be able to go into the polling station and
with your students
unless they're duly registered and registered to vote in that particular polling station.
And Mr. Weeks, I believe that no one should be able to go into a polling station with a student ID to vote. as well.
Sorry, what you believe?
I also believe that no one should be able to go into a polling station with a student ID or a passport to vote as well.
The law permits that thing.
But I believe that
but
it should not.
There's something before the ID.
The
law permits you to go into the station and vote, even though you don't have a picture ID on you.
Yes. But I'm saying, in my opinion, I believe it should not be like that.
Bing, that's not necessary because they have picture ID with them. The electoral people have IDs with them. They have your ID or your identification information with them. So that's why you're allowed to go in there without a ID card on your person and allowed to vote. But it takes longer.
But Mr. Weeks,
what if they have to search to find that identifying information, and two, you have to sign an oath.
Right.
You have to make an oath.
But what if...
So it takes longer.
Mr. Weeks, what if, for example...
It holds up the process.
Yes, but what if, for example, the person do not have an identification card? For example, like my daughter or someone else's daughter, your son, who do not have an identification card and is trying to get an identification card. The polling station, the electoral office will not have a copy of it. Because they do not have.
You're not registered, you're not allowed to vote.
Okay.
You can be 18, you can be 40, you can be 100 years old.
And
if
why
you're
should
not
why
registered,
then why
not, and that's the point I am making, you're not allowed to vote.
So why should you stop someone from being registered to vote if they are a Vincentian and their address is in Vincent and the Grenadines, but away, whether as a diplomat, a student, working in from St. Vincent government in a particular institution overseas, why should they be stopped from gaining identification card?
Being if they had an identity, first of all, let us be reminded that the identification card you're talking about is for voting. All right? So if my child, who is born overseas, it remains there for how many years? But he was never registered before he went there. Or he never lived in St. Vincent long enough to be registered. He can't stay there and get registered. Then I often made a point.
But Mr. Weeks, you and I, I don't know, we're going forward together on different paths. Because the point is,
yes,
here is someone who's trying to get registered. You're trying to get your name on the registered list to say, I can vote, and also to say, I'm a Vincentian. And you're being denied by saying you have to be here for 6 months. When you cannot be here for 6 months because you are overseas studying during that 6 months period. Why should that be?
Bing, I agree with you that that should be done. That person should be allowed to vote in those conditions. If you can demonstrate that you basically lived here all your life, but you're simply overseas. You're residing overseas for purposes that is normally considered to be temporary migration. If that's the case, I agree that the law should be changed to allow those persons to be voted. But for now, Bing, the law does not provide for that. The law says that you have to be living in the constituency. But I have a difficulty with those who interpret, who give that strict interpretation to the law. And I am very happy to hear this morning that the Prime Minister says he's going to ask the Attorney General to give an interpretation on it, because it's something I have been calling for a long time. I believe some of those who are listening would remember it is something, and I said at the time that the opposition leader should ask the Attorney General to give an interpretation. And if the Attorney General interpretation was similar to how the election officers are interpreting the law now, that they should take the matter to courts. I said here and elsewhere several times, because that is how societies function. So there's a separation, or some of you may prefer to hear me say there ought to be a separation of powers between the judicial, those who interpret the law, and the parliament who makes the law.
And also the executive.
There ought to be a separation. And both of them balance each other. So if the citizen is uncomfortable, does not agree with how the state is interpreting the law, we should take the state to court. Let the judiciary, let the judge or the magistrate give an interpretation. And after that interpretation, if the parliament is dissatisfied with that interpretation, they can go and change the law.
Wow. Well, Mr. Weeks, you know, matters like these, matters of constitutional matters, going to court, how long these matters take. So if, for example...
No, it's not so.
No, well, let me just finish.
Yes,
let me just finish.
Matters are supposed to be given priority.
They're supposed to, but we know they take long.
Lawyers in St. Vincent, particularly those who support the opposition, and I believe that they will be able to make the point.
We know of some constitutional matters who went on, started in one election and went past another election.
Yes,
so let us don't pretend that we don't know that. Okay. So I'm asking though finally. I'm asking you finally. What if now I knew yesterday, but I brought and I said yesterday when I was told that yes, I'm going to ask the Attorney General for interpretation. I said outright straight, and I'm going to take it to the radio tomorrow morning. That was my response, straight up.
It has to go further than that.
Right?
Then.
And when the Prime Minister takes the matter to the Attorney General for an interpretation, and the Attorney General comes back with an interpretation that is not, well, how do I say it? How did you put it? That is not
that you disagree with.
That is not in
or
sync.
The Prime Minister disagrees with.
Yes, it's gonna be, and the matter goes to court, which you are saying should have happened. What then happen? We will have a challenge in our upcoming elections. Maybe we will not have elections this year or next year.
That's how it happens in society. Then when I was Labour Commissioner,
wow,
the government passed a new law when they came into office, and they changed the rules for severance payment. And when I was acting Labour Commissioner, the hearing officer, with his authority, was interpreting the law a particular way. And I said to him, no, sir, I don't think you're doing it correctly. And he said, yes, that is his interpretation. And he went ahead and administered the law, wrote his rulings based on his interpretation. I asked, me as a civil servant, asked the Attorney General for an interpretation. The Attorney General gave an interpretation that was in line with what I thought it was. Attorney General said I was correct. The hearing officer continued to use his interpretation. And the Parliament had to amend the law to make it clear this is what we intend.
Okay, Mr. Weeks, finally,
that's how societies are to function.
Correct. And I want to ask you finally again I want to be precise and clear. I want to make sure that I'm hearing as clear as possible and our listeners are hearing. The Prime Minister is going today, I think he did yesterday, ask the Attorney General. I think yesterday he asked the Attorney General for an interpretation of the law, right? What if after that interpretations come back, the opposition do not agree, and as they follow what you say, take the matter to court? And we know how constitutional matters are and how long they take. Then my question is, could we have a situation where we may not have an election because of the holding up of the court system, the judicial and constitutional matter, which is in court, and we may not have an election by the end of this year?
No, that can't happen. The matter, the election would go forward.
The elections will go forward
and practice.
And then the results of the elections will what will become of that?
It would be perfectly in order. It would be based on the existing law. The law, once the law is not changed.
Even though the matter is in court?
Eh?
Even though the matter is in court?
Yeah, even though the matter is in court, the law remain until the court rules.
Okay, all right.
The law remain until the court rule.
And if the
court,
even
when the court rule, the parliament can hurriedly change the law.
Right, and if the court rules in the favor of
what they think it should be.
What if the court rules in favor of the opposition, for example? I'm just saying, for example.
Then that becomes law until somebody challenges it in court again and get a different ruling, or until the parliament change it.
We got some serious issues to deal with, I tell you.
No, that's how society works, Bing. That is, as we grow and we develop, that is what we are heading to. And this is what that is what radio programs like this ought to be guiding our society too.
Thank you.
Those countries in the Caribbean who got independence before us and operated their parliament and to some extent their own judicial system, they are ahead of us in this regard. Yes. I always quote Jamaica because Jamaica was independent more than a decade ahead of us.
Right,
but decades ahead of us.
But Mr. Weeks, quickly, there was
they have a larger population, and they are closer. So what I think our society should be in order. In some respects, you're far behind.
Right.
In the culture.
Was there a similar situation in Guyana recently where the elections were held up because of a constitutional matter similar, where voting and the interpretation of the law was concerned?
The matter in Guyana wasn't about registration. It was about how the person in charge of the electoral process interpreted the results.
Okay.
And accusations of, I'm not using it in its legal term, in its legal sense, I'm using it in everyday use, the misconduct of electoral officers. That is what held up the results, because those who supervised the elections were saying this is how it should be, and others were saying otherwise, and the matter will before the court. Okay. This is a simple matter of registration you're talking about.
Yeah. All right.
And registration will continue as it is until the law is changed, or until the somebody gives directive in terms of the interpretation, and the supervisor of election changes the way she interprets the law. I had problems with the electoral office and registration not too long ago. My son turned up at the registration center and was refused registration.
And what did you do?
He decided that he's not going to seek to be registered anytime again. And I said, no, you're giving up a right that was fought for by our full parents. And I said, this is what we need to do. I call
Shady's saying in the background. Shady's saying something to you in the background.
All the requirements, and I fulfill them. That's what I did.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. I come on to pass it this morning, but you take me on. You think today's, you tell Shady today's not Thursday or Monday. You behave like today's Thursday.
Shady one like he wanted to take you on this morning. Shady asked something in the background, but I think you didn't hear him.
No, I didn't hear him. Ask Shady.
Shady, ask again.
No, you were saying that was his right to be registered and vote and whatnot. And I said, but he was denied his right to register and vote.
Yeah, he was denied, and the law provided a redress for that. And what I did, I assume that you're talking about my son?
Yes.
He was denied, and what I did, I got for myself what are the requirements, which he fulfilled. He is a citizen of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He lived in Prospect for all of his life. There were some documents, other documents that are required to show that he's a citizen of St. Vincent, not just the ones that he carried in the first instance.
What are those the other documents for persons
who are interested? My son carried a foreign birth certificate.
Oh, okay.
Because he was born abroad.
Okay.
And of course, the electoral officer said no.
That's a different situation.
So I got all, including his parents' birth certificates, the required document to show that I lived in the constituency, in the polling division for 20-something years, and I signed to say that this is correct. And he was issued the opportunity.
But there's a diplomat who lives here, but he travels a lot, and his ID expire, and they tell him he can't get his ID.
Anyway, we gotta cut now. We got some commercials and other things to do.
Ben.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Wicks. Thank you very much. Shitty. Let that go before we bring some commercials.
Up to the time, down to the minute. Some boys say them a roll day, fools see them all day, pain. I'm say out to the minute. Some boys say them a roll high, barely stroll by. More, I'm here say down. You know we rated as number one up to the time of Vibes Cartel. Start where? You know me call can I with the buckle of talk can I.
Your trend was this morning, buddy. Vibes Cartel, they say, what they say about Candyman give Vibes Cartel passport? That's a joke, eh? That's a joke.
Driving in the 320i in a July. The pressure put the apply. And you not April, baby, you cry.
Tell them this is the new millennium and different thing I want. Marshall and Cartel, I go create a sound. And when you see us in the club, I see us in the land. Adjust the pressure we apply, we have to turn it on. This is a new millennium and different thing I want. Marshall and Cartel, I go create a sound. And when you see us in the club, I see us in the land. Adjust the pressure we apply, we have to turn it on.
Cool guineas are hot guineas, but me no business. Me a wrap up like file paper.
But maybe you're correct.
Yeah, woman a straight, that a me business. Y'all a brace me something till it big like the West Indies. But her y'all a broke out like diseases. She a do what she pleases. Over the vibes, together on the lead. She sit up never in the dance. She never go busting at 20 pieces. Call me new releases on the film and women in a pieces.
Tell them this is the new millennium and different thing I want. Marshall and Cartel, I go create a song. And when you see us in the club, I see us in the land. Adjust the pressure we apply, we have to turn it on. This is a new millennium and different thing I want. Marshall and Cartel, I go create a song. And when you see us in the club, I see us in the land.
Well, all that I know coming out of this situation, and unlike what Sweetie Boy said, I'm happy I brought this situation with my daughter to the radio this morning because it has sparked a match which needs to bring light to a situation and also which needs to be dealt with before our elections are convened. It has sparked a match. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Shady.
Morning, Kensu.
Morning,
good morning, Sabig.
Catterfoot. Chill spot, Catterfoot. Chill spot. I wonder when next they're going to have that on the menu. I need to try that. Man,
you need it.
I'm serious. I've never had that. I've never had it.
But just imagine, just the thought of the cattle soup. How you strong? Just the thought of it. Imagine when you drink it.
Good morning to Miss Edwards and the rest of the staff at Chill Spot.
Good people. Listen, I didn't even want to come in on this thing this morning, but I'll speak on it quickly. But I want to talk about that $100 million that we spoke about the other man. I wanted to get in with it yesterday, but you had Mr. Huggins on.
Yeah, but let me deal with this one here because this is really important. This is a trending one now.
No, right. Here's the thing, being right, and I have some questions. And I love how Candyman referred to me as internet crazy because I know he was referring to me this morning because you put up my comment on the screen there. I love how he mentioned and called me internet crazy because this internet crazy has some questions. Now, first and foremost, as you said, in this post-colonial system of ours, with the ULP being so progressive, how is it that after 25 years, knowing that this law was there and support, it was never changed? We have seen where laws in this country has been changed to affect things retroactively. We have seen that. We have seen where new laws have been put in place to accommodate certain things, even when it comes to money. But somehow, when it comes to our electoral process, it takes a snail's walk and a snail's pace.
We see a lot change overnight, whole night, go all night and change.
But there you go. We still a change overnight. As a matter of fact, they want sensationalism. When it came to the vaccine mandate, the law, the constitutional right that Vincentians carried, their right to bodily autonomy, was changed at 3 a.m. in the morning against the will of the people. But now you have a situation like this. And this is an issue to get changed. After 25 years. As Jomo said this morning, the 15th, the voter registration puts this in the bin. Because the 15th, the voter registration is for who? Not for new people, not for young people, not for people just coming into the voting system. Isn't that what it is mainly for? To get as much people to come and vote as possible. My second thing is, when the Prime Minister called on our African brethren to get regularized, are they going to be given the opportunity to vote? Are we going to be seeing that? And with the people who could hardly speak English that we know are being registered now, what about those? Tell Candyman come after this internet crazy, and I will bring the facts for him. And I will bring the proofs for him too. Because if you're saying that a post of Vincentian, and I willfully ask that question about citizenship, and you as a citizen entitled to a national identification showing that you are a citizen of your country, which then, if I'm not able to get, then which means I should be able to operate outside of the laws of the country then. My other question is, when you have persons who are applying for a passport or citizenship or so forth, who aren't born in St. Vincent and living in St. Vincent, but they are citizens by descent. Your mother and your father were born in St. Vincent, they went to America 20, 30 years ago and they made a baby, and you decide, you know what, boy, I want to show that I'm a Vincentian citizen. Right? They come and you can apply and get that easily by descent. My question is, when you apply for your passport, because your passport, your driver's license has an ID number. That is your identification card number. How is that going to go? How does that go? And do you know, as a citizen by descent, have the right to apply for, this raises a lot of questions in my mind and nothing. Because if you're saying that the national ID card is not really a national ID, as we term national ID, but it is a voter's registration card, then isn't that fraudulent by naming it bigly right there on the ID card, national identification card? Isn't that fraudulent? And if it is so that I have to get that, right? What about, and the number that you get there, shouldn't it be that since we are such a post-colonial advanced society, shouldn't we have already been at that place where at birth we can be issued a number so that when you go to get an ID, that number is yours right up until the day you die from birth? No. We are so advanced and so progressive, but these simple things there, because this is simple. we can't get right. And again, that 15-day voters registration comes into question. That comes into question. So those are my questions to Candyman this morning, because he called me the internet crazy. So I'm talking directly to him, because I would like those answers. I would love those answers. Because again, I'm asking if it's not fraudulent calling your voter registration card your national ID card. I want to know that. And why is it not that the law is changed quickly to accommodate voting and registering of new entrants into the voting system? But here's something too.
Wow.
For persons who are living overseas, who come here once every 4.5 years. Yes, your name has been in the voter registration, but let's say some of them live overseas. They are even citizens of another country. They have got their citizenship in another country. They are not living in St. Vincent. Their primary residence is overseas. I want Candyman to come and tell me if it's fair for those people. The immigration department has the records and can show you have not been living in St. Vincent for the past 10 years, for the past 4.5 years, for the past 15 years. Where then is your primary address in St. Vincent? Because if you are able to live overseas for years, not living in a constituency here for years, on their premise, that automatically disqualifies you from being able to get a national voter's ID. Not a national ID card, a national voter's ID, doesn't it? From their premise? Answer me, no being. You afraid to answer?
Talk, buddy, talk.
Eh?
Talk
From their premise. Does that not disqualify you right away, automatically, from getting a voter's ID? Because you're not living here. You're not residing here for years. And the immigration records are there to show this. So then how are you able to come in here? Yes. You were registered years ago when you went for an ID card.
But you ain't been here for 6 months.
But again, but there's my point. You have not been living in a constituency for all the years. And you come, and I know that majority of these people that come here to vote, they are not able to come on vacation for 6 months. To live in a constituency for 6 months. How then are they allowed to vote?
Let's go a little bit further. The plain load of student that is going to come in, that is going to be chartered and paid for by a donor. Right? The song says waste. Who going to UE in Barbados, K-Ville, and at Mona campus? What will happen to them? And don't have a registration card and have never voted. New voters, what will happen to them?
Well, that's a great question. Isn't that no? And isn't this law? And again, talking to a so-called progressive government, isn't this law, isn't this stance, isn't this interpretation going against the very right that the Constitution gives to you as a citizen to be able to vote? Yeah? Doesn't it fly in the face of the Constitution? And again, I ask the question. I will ask the question again because I would like it answered. Even though you were registered here before, you went overseas for 10 and 20 years, for 5 years, for 7 years, for 4.5 years, but you are able to come, even though your ID is expired, for whether a few weeks or a few months and get registered. Where are you registering to vote? Where were you living in St. Vincent? Where? And isn't it unfair for those who are not living here, who just fly in on a chartered flight to cast a vote, to cast a ballot and go back out? Isn't it unfair to those here to allow those persons coming in just to cast a ballot and are not going to live under the policies and conditions of whichever party goes into government, isn't it unfair that they are allowed to vote and dictate who is going to lead those and govern over those who are here?
My God.
Eh? Bing, if I continue this morning, I might cuss. So let me get off of here. Because the kind of stupidness and the kind of nonsense that I hear and hear, where people are trying to justify foolishness, that it takes just a bit of common sense to understand that it is nonsense. And it should have been changed. And for Candyman to want to run and come and say, oh, the NDP operated under it. You idiot. I don't want to say idiot, but oh God, if you know that it is wrong, if you know that it wrong, why the hell after 25 years, during 25 years, they didn't change it? Eh? But you want to come now, and you see, this is how I know these people are nothing but hypocrites. Because you want to run now and say, you know what, Bing? 10 years ago, you see moving the battle there right there, with the pant up he table there by you, that was wrong.
Yeah, you should have moved.
It was wrong. Right? But guess what? Me come now, I know it was wrong, I know it is wrong, but guess what? Me not move it neither. Tell me how progressive that is. And you're claiming to be progressive. But as progressive as they are being, don't forget that they tried to suppress protests here under 1711 piece of legislation that was meant for slaves, eh? Yeah? That is how hypocritical these people are. And that is progression. I was charged under it. Me can say, just in the 2020s here. In 2020s. I was charged under that in 2021.
In a postmodern postmodern colonial society. Yes.
Here's something. You want to run another part?
You gotta wrap it up, buddy. We got commercials to go, okay?
Right, so I'm going to wrap it up. As progressive as they claim to be, and post-colonial as they claim to be, me can say, hey, I'm still under charge of sedition, a colonial law. Yeah, a colonial law. I am still charged under sedition. I'm still on a sedition charge from since 2022 to now. Yeah? Where being charged for sedition is me being a threat
to the nation,
to the queen, to the queen and her heirs. To the queen and her heirs. But we post-colonial, right? Eh? We post-colonial. Even though there's a law already in place to replace the Sedition Act. But no, you have to charge somebody under something. But the post-colonial, right? I mean, have a good man with the hypocrisy of these people here, yes?
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for adding your voice to the conversation. We've got to take a quick commercial break. Yeah? Long overdue. We'll be right back. Yeah? Shady saying you want to kill them with it today. All right, you got a couple of seconds to kill them with it. Go on, Shady, go on.
Somebody show me a red rock. Got somebody show me a red flag. Show some labor luck for the
Shady, I am convinced now that you just got the extra check and they send you here to be an arm of the ULP. Yeah, Shady, then somebody show me a red card, show me a red rock, show me a red voter card. Shady, that's what you play? Let me listen to it. No, I want to listen. Let me make sure my friend good.
Somebody show me a red rock. Got somebody show me a red flag. Show some labor luck for the comrade. Every labor man and every labor woman say, I'm at the peak.
No.
So just show me a red rock.
No.
It doesn't matter your race, age, sex,
sexual orientation,
gender identity. Let's go! Boom 1069, the sound setter of radio.
Young girl don't want that back calling me splurge. Why me jump right out the curb?
New year, different lane.
We gon' spin and kill everybody. And we're telling now. Bend that over, let that breathe. Shake that.
Boom 1069. 1069.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
For 40 years, we've refined the rhythm of beer, mastering the balance of bold and smooth, crafting flavors that echo through SVG. Between the limes and the laughter, we've carried our expertise across the Caribbean, one brew at a time, perfecting the process, deepening the craft, learning what makes beer not just tasted, but felt. And now, with all that we've learned, we bring you what's next. The next wave of refreshment, the next chapter in our story, the next taste to define a generation, not just another drink. This is the extension of who we are, the next experience, the next icon, imagined and brewed right here at home. It's not just what's next for us, it's what's next for you. It's what's beyond expectations. Own it, define it, make your mark. Hyrule next. This is the extension of passion, of possibility. Hyrule next. The future of beer. Made in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the hands that have mastered the craft for 40 years.
This isn't just a run. With each step begins a new journey. A journey of determination, persistence, and self-discovery. With each step, I am back on a quest to push myself beyond expectations, beyond standards. Each stretch, a reminder of the flexibility of the human spirit. With each step, I am breaking barriers. As I push to the finish, I'm filled with pride. Not just for what I've achieved today, but for the journey that has brought me here. This isn't just a run. It's a testament to the human spirit, and I am here for it. Island Sips, beyond standards, beyond expectations, beyond water.
All started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
You're watching IKTV, channel 112. It's all about you.
Welcome to Lane's Hardware Plus Arnersville for convenient shopping and parking. Where are we? Turn off at Arnersville Technical College Gap. One-stop shopping for house and home. Harris Cement at great prices. Lumber 2, from premium to regular. Value for every pocket. Steel also at competitive prices. Hardware Plus, tools of every type, household appliances and furnishings, paints, goods as far as the eye can see.
Hi, my name is Carol Laborde. I manage a tool aisle. How may I assist?
Hi, good day. I'm Ashwin. Paint is my business. How may I help?
Hi, I'm Kayla Bullock. I'm in home decorations and appliances, and I would love to help you.
See, I told you everything. See you soon. A warm welcome awaits you. Hardware Plus.
OMG in the morning, lighting up SVG on Boom 1069.
Let's check in with the data and look at things with a wider lens. Pastor Richards on OMG.
Good morning, Doc. Good morning. Spencer, we can't take Dr. Richards this time, so we have to deny that. Good morning to you, Doc. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Bing. Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And good morning to all of you who are listening to this station wherever you are. I have a couple of things I would like to comment on. Certainly, I want to pick up on the issue that I think you brought it to the table, but it's been ventilated to a certain extent this morning. And that is the... go ahead and pull down the background music so it's not so loud on my end. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I want to pick up on that and just a bit. I think it's a useful discussion. I'm not totally appreciative of the way it was conducted, but it's a useful discussion and current. And I also want to comment on the, well, there are various names for it, but the current road cleanup program that is happening. As with anything here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and more I want my listeners to get it, multiple sides of every issue, and that they're not all wrong. Even when someone has an opposing view, it does not mean that it is a wrong view. And I wish more of us can get that. An opposing view, a view that is at variance with yours, is not necessarily indicative of the fact that it is wrong. Get it? The road cleanup program, as with anything else, you have really good things associated with it. And then you have some drawbacks that are associated with it. So as we contemplate that and it is being executed this week. My reason for bringing it to the fore, not that you're not aware, if you drive on just about any road here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, currently you would know that that is going on. All right. And like I said, I have heard some of the negatives associated with it, and I am not saying that a negative view is a drawback. When I say negative, I mean a drawback related to it. For people, it is not indicative that your view is wrong. Okay, so get that. What people talk about that it contributes to soil erosion. I've heard people complain about the what it does to the embankment. I've heard people talk about the pool of laborers that are so readily available to work for a minimal pay, and what that indicates that those who would argue that it is not a huge plus that you have. I don't know, it definitely it's gone past hundreds. I would probably say, if I extrapolate, I would probably say thousands available, and glad to work these jobs. And so I've heard people comment about that and argue it from a negative point of view that, that should not be the case, and what it is indicative of with respect to levels of employment in St. Vincent. Me, for one, I like to look at a good side to everything, not necessarily ignoring the voices who point out the drawbacks. Those are useful, very, very useful. Please hear me. Those are very useful when you point to things that can be addressed. But at the same time, do not ignore, while you're doing that, do not ignore the positives. I mean, I am happy that for what is what, and the timing of the thing, it allows those who are breadwinners in their home and have children going back out to school, whether it is SNAP money, because it's not a lot of money in terms of what keeping a child in school is going to cost. But it does alleviate and it does facilitate you doing some things for your child or your ward. And that's very, very useful. I think that's applaudable to see people going out there and doing the cleanup work. I really think it's applaudable that you will do that sacrificially, knowing that it helps you. I really applaud people who bend over and do what you need to do. My mom was such a woman, not saying that she walked the roads, but she was willing to do and my dad, they were willing to just take on any job and do anything to keep us in school. It paid off. All of us had good education and all of the grandchildren, university education. So yeah, I applaud that. I like, and every time I pass the people walking on the road, I try to say hi to every single one of them in the village road. On the highway, I can't do that, but I driving on the village road where I can actually slow down and say hi, good morning, and stuff like that to them and wish them a good day. I do that. So you can do that if you're not obstructing the traffic. Show respect to them. That's what I'm saying. Show respect to those who are cleaning up the road. For what is worth, erosion aside, it looks good when they get done. Some things to be cautious of with respect to that, because our roads are so narrow and made even more compromised by our roads becoming a parking lot. It's a parking lot in many cases because people where they live, they don't have garages and or for people to drive in. So people buy vehicles, have vehicles, and park them along the road. So the roads that's supposed to be 2 lanes, in many, many cases, especially village roads, only 1 lane is available for two-way traffic. 1 lane is taken up with parking, and then the other lane you have to negotiate. So you have to be extra patient during this week. Please be very extra patient with the process. There's a good outcome. People are getting a little income in their pocket. Don't be aggravated with the road workers. Again, any fault or blame or whatever you have for this, don't place it on them. Be respectful to them and understand that they are there And as you can't drive at your normal pace, you don't want to, even if you don't hit them, you don't want them to feel threatened. You want them to feel safe while they're doing what they do. So please, those of you who are hearing me, whether you're at your office already or wherever you are working, please be mindful of that. Also, the road is compromised because, as they trim and they heap everything along, the roads are so narrow. And then you're going to heap things along the side of the road and wait for trucks to pick them up. And as you heap them, they're already a hazard to the traffic. It's really hard. And then when they're picking them up and the trucks come to pick them up and the roads are narrow, you're going to have to sit in the village roads. You're going to have to sit and wait while they pick up heap after heap. It ain't fun. But there's a good outcome. Smiles are being put on the face of some children. Some people have extra disposable income in their pockets, so we have to be patient with them. Don't take out any frustration you have on those people, please. They already have a lot to deal with income-wise and otherwise already. The fact that they are there cleaning the roads and all that indicates that they don't have a regular job to go to. They're already frustrated. Don't take out your frustration on them. Be mindful of them, be kind to them, and appreciate what they're doing. So that's one. The other thing that I want to talk about is the matter related to you brought to the table, and you said something, and you said it was an important. I think you said it struck a match or something like that, or it's an important discussion, and I agree with you, being that it's an important discussion, which is why I felt that the discussion could have been conducted differently. You are well listened to, and those who weighed in on it are well listened to, and the one that you had the longest discussion with was Candyman, but we could have learned a lot more. We could have learned a lot more had that discussion been conducted more, when I say differently, more dispassionately. Yeah, there was a lot of shouting there, but I mean, you know what you're doing, you're a radio man, you know that is going to drive the listeners and all of that, and he knows that. So, that's you. There's a sense in which you feel that's needed. But one of the points I made last year, October, I made this point. My fellow Vincentians, you remember this. One of the things that indicate our growth, the growth in our citizenship, citizenry, how we conduct ourselves as citizens. One of the things I pointed out was that it is demonstrated in how we negotiate our differences. One of the facts that I keep hammering is that I expect us, we are multi-natured, multi-talented, multifaceted people, and therefore will be multi-opinioned. Okay? We will be. So always there will be the Bings and the Candyman, the Mr. Weeks, the Pastor Richards, the Jomo. We're going to have all kind of opinions all over the place. Differences in opinions. But how we conduct ourselves and how we negotiate our differences that's really indicative of how we are growing. Negotiate your differences. You brought a matter there related to national ID and by extension voting and matters related to voting. Everything got conflated into one big thing, right? But I get that. And you had difference of opinion with Candyman and others had difference of opinion with you. But I keep saying, let the thing be done in an informed manner. So a lot of us listening needed information, needed clarity, and there were some good points being made. But I would have preferred that a little less passion and a little more clarity. We are a country of laws. I get that. I understand that the need for laws regulating how you get it's not a voter ID, national ID, So there are laws regulating that for good purposes. We need laws regulating that, and we understand that, okay? And laws being what they are always subject to interpretation. I heard Mr. Weeks saying that actually in one instance he called for an interpretation, I think from the Attorney General or whatever. And the problem with laws is that they're not always static, and their interpretation might vary to great extremes. If you watch the Supreme Court of America, the Supreme Court, there are differences of opinion on the same law. So the laws related to governing the issuing of national ID, we expect the process to be guided by law, but we do expect that people will handle the piece of law differently. And I think what the discussion this morning pointed out, there is great need for clarity on how these laws are interpreted, and that the laws are not static entities, but they're dynamic and therefore need to be changed with interpretation, with analysis, with understanding to continue to be relevant. And clearly the discussion this morning made it patently clear that the whole thing is murky. If you see what I did there, it's murky. But in the murkiness, and Kenson pointed it out, there needs to be a sense of urgency with which it is made clear. So let me just say that, because there are a number of issues there that still kind of muddy, the right to vote. Who has the right to vote? And who can be excluded from voting even if they're naturalized or born Vincentians? Who has the right to vote? And the fact that you're a born Vincentian, if you're not living in a particular constituency, how valid is it to vote? I remember one saying, it's an honor to be able to vote. Even if I was living elsewhere, I would still want to vote. It's probably one of the things that I could do as a Vincentian citizen. So I don't think the right to do that should be so easily denied. But at the same time, there are those who are going to argue, let us say you live New York, you work New York, you purchase your items in New York, your taxes are paid in New York, etc., etc., etc. Of what value is a vote to you in your constituency, and shouldn't you allow just the people who are in the kitchen to feel the heat and to make decisions in the kitchen? So there are those who would argue that even though you are a Vinci, that if you're not living currently within the constituency, there might be an argument that you should not be voting. I'm not saying I necessarily subscribe to that, but I'm saying the argument this morning opened that Pandora's box, the meaning of a vote, etc., etc. So I would like the discussion to continue. Kenson's point, clarity is needed and changes are needed, but we need to move expeditiously. But the thing with laws of this nature, you don't want to move too quickly on laws related to voting. Kenson, I heard you. You don't want to move too quickly on laws related to voting. You want the process to be as thorough and as transparent as possible. Never mind that you might point to other laws that move quickly. You don't want, and you know what happened there, the backlash. You don't want to move laws related to voting. You don't want to move those, change those, edit those. You don't want to do that too quickly. You want to take your time with that. And last comment, I've heard the term modern post-colonial society. I've heard that term being thrown around this morning. I would like to submit that that's an aspirational term. Aspirational. I would love for us to be a modern post-colonial society. It is a heavy lift to get us there. So we can continue to speak aspirationally about being a modern post-colonial society. Truth be told, a modern, hear me and I will end here, a modern post-colonial society requires modern post-colonial laws. We're not there yet, but we can continue to aspire. All right, you all take care. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you for your always interesting commentary as per usual, and especially this morning. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I take it.
This day, right? Thank you very much. We see some calls coming in. You can take them. Here's one of them. Let's see if we can take this one. Good morning. Morning.
But bang.
Good morning. Good
Very
morning.
Good program.
Good morning.
Very good program. Listen, I ain't got much to say except a couple of statements. My partner 2K hit it all right on the nail when he come on. Everything. And he got a lot of people thinking. But let me tell you something. If you notice, every single time election comes around, there's always an issue about registration. Check it out. Every single time, there's always an issue about registration. Now, because this came up as an issue, right? It tells you that people are thinking. They're thinking. If nobody brought this up, it would have been interpreted how the government wanted to be interpreted. But because it's being questioned now, is why they're talking about looking into it for an explanation. No government, I will tell all of you this, no government change anything, all right, just for the sake of changing it without an ulterior motive behind it in their favor. Check it out. There's always an ulterior motive behind changes when governments are in power for their purpose. Always. Doesn't matter who it is. That's what they do. Now, it's denying the young people. This is how I would be thinking if I was a member of the opposition or as a normal person should be thinking. If you change the law if you bring in this thing to deny certain people, young people, and I heard he talk this morning, well, it could deny the ULP young voters, all right, from voting. Maybe, just maybe, with all the polls being taken, the government see that with the young people, there's a swing towards the NDP. I hear them saying, oh, well, all the young people who they're on scholarship and who they're this and who they're that, obviously they're going to be voting for the ULP. You think that is necessarily the case, eh? Maybe there is a swing with the young people towards the NDP. And unless you think before they talk about stuff like this, stuff would be done how they want it to be done. And listen, I'm glad I ain't in politics directly, Bing. And I was a member of the opposition. Oh, Lord, I tell you, boy, I would start so much problem in the parliament. It's a shame. The speaker would eventually throw me out permanently. Permanently. Let me tell you something. They change laws. I keep telling people this all the time. They change laws to suit themselves. From since 1215, all right, with James the First and the Magna Carta, that's what governments do. They change a little bit at a time until they finally catch you, and by that time it's too late. Then you gotta go to court, go to parliament, then they gotta try and repeal it, and you know how long the process takes. But that's what they do. They are trying to deny you your rights and privileges so that they are in full control of you. Your daughter born in St. Vincent the Grenadines by Vincentian parents when their wife had dual citizenship, right? But the point is she was born in St. Vincent the Grenadines. And you want to tell me that they're going to deny your daughter the right to have a Vincentian ID because she's now going to school in Canada? What sense does that make? And you're talking about now the people who just issued Vincentian passports. They may live there, but they could come home and vote now. Them people are there, Anna. They could come and vote because they got VC passport. Like them people that say a fool a talk and a fool a listen. And I glad Vincentians are waking up. And don't let no government railroad you. None. Absolutely no government must railroad you. You got the authority. You control things. You vote for the people who want to make a difference for you, not for themselves. And they must never be afraid to talk or be afraid to challenge anything that doesn't make sense to you. Challenge it. That's why you have those rights. And the least they hear from you is the more they do to you. Check it out. You know, before I go bang, they talk about, oh, government ain't gonna do this to you, and government ain't gonna do that to you. A lot of you should go in and do a lot of research and see what the Israeli government and other governments do to the citizens. All right, when they're not when they're an opposing voice to what the governments want. It's called collateral damage, guys. They'll get rid of certain things that's a stumbling block to them and their policies. You know, the unfortunate thing is, the rest don't rise up and make noise about it. Everybody just buy into it, and that's how they keep doing. That's what they keep doing to you in every democratic society. They suppress your rights by trying to intimidate you. That's what it is. If I tell all already, if 40% of you, they tell them to go fly a kite, and you don't give a rat's derriere about the goddamn stupid vaccine mandate, a whole bunch of you now will be sleeping peacefully at night. Don't know if you're going to wake up the next morning when you go to bed if you took the jab. For what? I tell you one thing. I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to say it again. Well, no, I'm going to say it again because I never said it before. If it's the one thing, one issue, people listen to me very carefully, and I could quote Bones and say Bones said it on radio. If it's the one issue, if I was to come home and vote for this general elections, hey, no. One issue that would make me vote against the ULP is that vaccine mandate. I ain't about to forgive them for it for nothing. Absolutely nothing. I would use that alone to make me determine which way I vote. It was pure wicked and evilness. That's what it was. For what? A few dollars more? In the meantime, all your people suffering now? Give me a goddamn break. I ain't doing that. I ain't supporting nothing like that ever. Anyway, Vincent, have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have yourself a good day. All right, cool. We're gonna wrap up, but before we wrap up, let me just get a couple of comments in. Both morning, both saying, Pastor, how do you win anything in the current situation when the laws are being moved? Like, I think that he's trying to say proverbial goalposts on a soccer field. Don't move too quickly, but make sure it's done after election. but only board can do those things. Hey, listen, let me just remind you again, chill spot. Yeah, man. Now we're talking. Yo, I'm hungry like hell. I could eat not just cow feet, not cow foot soup. I could eat a whole cow now. Right now. Trust me. Chill spot. All deliver some breakfast for me now. Please. Send me some breakfast, please. Oh, Lord. Yeah, and share it too. Share. You see how this work out for you? Like how, but you don't? When I collecting any big money from Candyman, you don't remember me. Oh, Lord, boy. Chill spot. I could do it some breakfast of falling apart this morning. I'm dying. Let me don't say that, eh? Please tell me don't say that. But let me tell you, remember to check out Chill Spot. For breakfast this morning. Breakfast still continues at Chill Spot. Yeah. Whether you want a heavy breakfast, a light breakfast, a satisfying breakfast, all of them are. Something just hearty, you know. Check out Chill Spot and have your heart desires all day, every day of the week. Breakfast is at Chill Spot. You can get breakfast, yeah. So start your morning in the right way, and you can have your traditional breakfast with your like eggs, bacon, ham, and all those things. But also they've got their mouth-watering sandwiches topped with fresh garnishes and traditional flavors stuff. All right, so you can check them out. And of course, you know you're gonna get the Vinci breakfast there as well too. You can get the codfish, crayfish also when in season. You can get your jackfish as well. What's the international dish? It's jackfish and what is the roast pork? That's what you just said. KFC. Look, listen, I'm speaking about Chill Spot. You're going to know about roast pork and KFC. Listen, you can also get the national dish at Chill Spot for breakfast as well. Jackfish and fried bread fruit. Yeah.
Fried fish and
fried jackfish. What do you think? So you think I'm going to say raw jackfish? Yes. He's a fisherman. That's why he's talking so stupid. And so much stupidness this morning. Yeah. You can get that. The traditional Vinci National Dish breakfast also. You can get that at Chill Spot today. Every day, all day, 7 days of the week as well too. Yeah, codfish as well too. Corned beef and bakes. And like I said yesterday, since that Monday I started reading these things. Monday or Tuesday I started reading these things. I'm saying corned beef and bakes. I'm thinking fry bakes. So yesterday I passed in for lunch. For those of you who would have missed it this morning when I spoke about it. Yeah, Dave, hold on. Give me a minute, Dave. Yeah. Dave, just give me a minute. Let me finish this, right? I passed in for lunch yesterday. Hold on a minute. And what I saw was not fried bakes, was baked coconut bakes. I'm like, coconut bake. I'm like, wow, I need that. Yeah, Dave, good morning to you, buddy. How you doing? I keep telling you, I have some stuff for you.
Who you think holds the key to success in this country right now?
Dave, man, I don't give a kind of late out all the question you asking me now. The people.
All right, okay, well, they give me an answer satisfied. Don't just leave me like a dummy.
Yeah, the people.
Remember, I can't go by the Taj Mahal. And I hear you talking about, I think it's by the Taj Mahal you did, or by the Taj Mahal you're going.
When?
Huh?
When?
Well, the Prime Minister, anybody?
Of course.
You're the Prime Minister, anybody?
Yes, he's my friend. We're very good friend. And he calls me all the time.
All right.
I'm not listen, I am not afraid to talk anything that is happening. Listen, Dave, you think I'm ashamed?
But that's your right.
The Prime Minister is my friend.
That's right.
Even when he sue me, when he threatened, you didn't sue me. Even when he threatened to sue me, you think I'm afraid to say that? He's still my friend.
Yeah.
And we still talk.
I know he had a lot of mouth, but at one time I thought you were crying because you couldn't talk anymore.
Do you ever hear me? The only thing I cry for my children right now.
Yeah, your children.
Yeah, go ahead. Make it point, sir. Because we're out of time. Make it point.
Anyhow, I just called to say that I never hear more. How do you call it go? More foolishness, more than what's going on these days in civil grade needs. And all of that is a distraction, It's to get people mind, get people mind not to vote for the New Democratic Party. It's to get people mind all mixed up and confused with some of the agents, those who work as agents for the ruling party, for the ruling regime.
Dave, my brother, would you stop saying every time an issue come up there, distraction? These are real issues, real flesh and blood issues to deal with people. I mean, issue to deal with someone. Issue to deal with someone being disenfranchised from voting is not a distraction. It's a real issue that needs to be dealt with. And needs to be.
It's the kind of politics.
Yeah, but don't say it's a distraction. Don't say it's a distraction. Because if you can't vote, if you cannot vote, Dave, then that is worse than a distraction.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree.
So don't say it's a distraction.
And I mean, nobody, no sensible person of any country would support something like that. So, anyhow, What do you expect the results to be like?
Dave,
you could call a figure?
Dave, no, I can't. I can't see the future, Dave. Can you? Call your figure.
Yeah.
What's your figure?
At least if I say 10-1 is murder, you'll get something out of that.
All right, buddy. I've got something. I got some stuff in my
10-1 is murder.
All right, Dave. On a serious note, I got some stuff in the fridge in my office for you. Some medication for you for the longest while that I've been, not longest while, but
you didn't
yes, I mentioned it.
Man,
I mentioned it to you on air, ready to let someone pass and pick them up. All right. Anyway, gotta go.
Right,
we gotta go. We gotta go. All right. Thank you very much. We gotta go. All right. We really gotta go. We really gotta go now. We've been going past the top. Listen. People, check out the Chill Spot for lunch today. Check them out for breakfast. They open all now. You can get breakfast. They all now. Lunch today and dinner tonight as well too. Chill Spot. And if you want a good bar to sit down and have some nice cold drinks, the best coldest drink you can get in the country is at Chill Spot. Right? The coldest drink. It doesn't matter what brand, in the country. Don't have yourself a good day today, folks, but have yourself a
great day.
Until then, we're gone.